stay part of all this YouTube politics, to be honest.
Are you ready?
We're back. The time is now.
NUFC Early Night News with Gary the Geordie Yum Yum, Andrew Bokey, and Derek the Mighty Wind. Weekdays from 7:30 p.m. UK, 1:30 p.m. USA.
NUFC Talk.
Good evening,
Hey.
lads, lassies, boys and girls. Welcome to the early part of the late show. It's really, sometimes I try and work that out in my brain. It's hard. I've got the usual crew with us. Oh, I don't know what's happened to our Tina Tooney. Where you gone, Tina? Where you go? Oh, yeah, you are. Hello. We've got the usual crew, Mighty Win, Bokey, and we've got Tina Tooney with us this evening, and myself, the Geordie Yam Yam, as you will probably know now if you've been watching the show a while. Going to talk about Leeds in the early part of the show. The lads later on will be talking any updates and news and gossip around the area. So we're just going to have a bit of a deep dive in the Leeds game. I was expecting or was hoping, because we had a Leeds fan on the Eddie presser this morning, and there was a couple of really awkward questions that Eddie threw a curveball at, which got everybody on the edge of their seat. Some agreed, some disagreed, and I think most of them disagreed. But the lads are going to get into all that, especially with the Gordon talk, later on in the show. So, like I say, stick around for that. And like I say, we are going to concentrate on that.
I've never been so insulted in my life. Well, stick around.
Indeed, indeed. And like I say, we had a Leeds fan early on, and he said he was going to try and get on because he had a little. He was worried, I think was more of his words, about Leeds having back-to-back games and playing the way they do. So, like I say, we are going to have a deeper dive into that. But before we get into all that, let's do the housework, and then we'll crack on with this evening's show. Welcome to everybody watching across all the platforms. Thanks to everybody that works in the background. Don't forget, people out there in viewerland, smash that like button for us if you enjoy it. It certainly helps us as a channel to get further. Don't forget, subscribe. It's totally free. Hit that bell for future content. If you want to support us, you can become a member. Something happening in the future, though. So, like I say, keep an eye out for these memberships because, like I say, it's something's happening and it's going to be good.
And there's Queenie, who's just become a member, which is nonsense, of course, because she's been a member for years. But obviously,
she's upgraded, isn't she? Yeah, well, she's just upgraded, I think.
Yeah. Thank you, Queenie.
Thank you ever so much, Queenie, for your loyal support as always. Don't forget as well, if you want to ask us a question, then throw a Q in front of that question. Like I say, it's not guaranteed. I do apologise to be mentioned. We do try and highlight as many as we can. But if you want to guarantee it, then throw us a talk super chat. Use that $sign, use the instructions, and then obviously throw us our way. That will guarantee that message read out live on the air. Anybody that becomes a member, as you've just witnessed, also gets thanked. And all the people that gift them out there will also be highlighted and thanked as we go through the show. How are we the eve of the match? Like I say, we've got these games coming thick and fast in January, February. So we need to be on our toes, boys and girls.
Well, as the Leeds fan said this morning, this is they played Liverpool on the 1st, Man United on the 4th, and us on the 7th. So literally 8 days, 3 games.
Three games,
and he's a bit worried about that. To be fair,
and listen, I actually understand where he's coming from because you look and again, I've got a cracking heading for this: control versus chaos. And it's how Newcastle can beat Leeds without playing Leeds' game. Because if any of you guys have watched previously, even if it's the highlights, you can see directly the way they play. And like I say, and why Leeds are going to be an awkward opponent for Newcastle at St James's Park. We have been one of the teams that seem to become the draw specialist, especially recently. And why this game is about discipline and patience and not dominance. And I suppose what we also need to ask is what a good performance actually looks like these days. Is it about the performance or is it about the points? Because at the end of the day, I think the points at this present moment in time are what's going to get us to the promised land. The performances will come as confidence grows, I'm sure, but surely the points are more important than the way we play. And for me, this isn't about blowing Leeds away. It's about not letting them drag us into that chaos. So, Win, you've got some stats, I believe, that you've been hunting around.
Well,
Go for it, my friend.
Obviously, Leeds are on a bit of a run at the minute, you might say. Unbeaten in 7 in the Prem. But out of those 7, they've only won 2. So they've drawn 5 and won 2. And that's back to the old Eddie Howe adage, which is you win 4, you've got more points straight away. You know, win 4, lose 3. You've got more points, so go for it. Random access. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, buddy. I don't know why that is, though, my friend.
There's quite a few people had that today. I think they must have been on the $2.99 package, which, of course, you know, we did lots of announcements saying that was going to be withheld. So they must have come to the end of that, I think. So they're having to renew, which is presumably why Queenie's renewed as well. But we've got very shortly, we're hoping, we're 99% certain that we'll be having some excellent news for members with regard to new content, which is going to be exclusive to them. So we look forward to making that announcement as and when we can get all the tech set up for it. But anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, so 5 wins, 2 draws, but those draws have included Man United away, Liverpool away, Sunderland away, that we couldn't get a draw, and you know we beat Chelsea. Crystal Palace, I maintained comfortably at home, 2-0. They won 4-1. And they won 4-1. And what I was particularly looking for when I was looking at the results was the patterns of play, the attacking momentum, and XG and possession. And they've averaged 45% possession over those games, but being as low as 29%. Believe it or not, they only had 29% possession against Chelsea.
Yeah.
And they won the game 3-1.
3-1, yeah.
Wow.
You know, and that resonates with me from some of our games last season when we were on that run.
Yeah.
That our possession stats were appalling, but we were getting results because defensive, they've got an XG against of 8.83, but they've only conceded 8. So they've conceded less than they should have done, whereas they're almost level on the XG 4. So that they're scoring more or less what they should be scoring. Now, right now, at this point of the season with us, we are the opposite. We are conceding more than we should be, as far as and that's always, you can then plant that blame on usually individual errors, and we know that there's been quite a few this season. So that's why we're conceding more than stats would suggest we should be conceding. And also the big thing that we've been doing all day, we've been profligate with our chances and not putting them away. And someday, Borky, I hope your prediction comes true, son, because one day some team is going to feel the wrath of those stats catching up with one another. I believe, anyway.
As I always say, you've got to be positive before a game.
Famously, Borky, that's always the stance you take.
No, it is. That's that. I'll be negative after a game, but I'm never ever negative before a game. The day of a match, you're behind the lad, you're behind Eddie, you're behind everybody 100% in my view.
Yeah. So, go on, Tina.
No, I was just saying nice one to Borky. I wasn't. Sorry.
Mind you, I do have to stay on those stats as well. When you've got to blame the coach and staff as well, you can't just blame individual player errors. Once or twice it's an error. If it happens a lot, if that's the repeat pattern over a season, then it comes down to the coaches to sort them out.
I mean, individual errors are individual errors, though, aren't they?
Excuse me.
There's not much you can do except from
But one or two individual errors, fair enough in a season. If it's continual individual errors, it starts to become not an individual error. It's something that's wrong with the setup of your team.
I think we were talking about Tonali yesterday. I don't want to keep harping on about Tonali because it shows that for me, it's probably just him understanding his role because he's not gambling. So he looks more out of the game than he does in the game, playing in the 6 rather than the 8. And I think, like I say, Anthony Gordon, the lads are going to go into a deep dive in Anthony Gordon, like I say, at 9:30. So I don't want to harp on about what was said this morning. Yes, he's going to upset a lot of players. He's going to upset a lot of people. Never mind his mates around him, because there's a lot of players, Barnes, who is also playing well. And it looks very much, and people are saying he's a favourite and everything else. For me, it's like I said this morning, if none of your wingers are playing well, but XG is showing you that Anthony Gordon, apart from the end product, he's producing all the other metrics. Sometimes it is very hard to keep the player out of the team to put a player into the team. And again, under Eddie Howe, his nuance, if you like, he has said, Harvey Barnes is a clever player. He can play anywhere across the 3, right to left, and he'll do a job for you. Now, whether he's better on the right than he is on the left, that's up to debate. I mean, that's everybody's conversation. But again, I always go back to say, you have to put your best players on the field of play at any one point. Now, if I was, again, you saw what I wanted. I wanted Anthony Gordon on the right-hand side, because with his press, with his pace, and he gets to that byline, he can just hook his ball in from that byline into the box. I think that would work absolutely wonders if Voltemada is in the box. My problem at the moment is you're not getting anything from Murphy. We know Alanga's dropped off. He's nowhere to be seen at the moment with his injury. And Anthony Gordon just isn't firing on the left-hand side. But if he's not firing on the left-hand side, which is his favourite place, what tune are you going to get out of him on the right-hand side if he doesn't want to play there? So his edge is just going to drop even further. So you are back down to what we've tried and tested all season, and they have all been underperforming. So there's a point to it that I understand. Well, I don't say, like I say, I'm not saying I agree with it, because it does show a bit of a precedent to the rest of the players. Anybody can say, I don't want to play there because I don't like playing there. What do you do in the end? Are you a coach or are you a manager? And I think this is where the two have to amalgamate into each other. Sometimes you just have to manage egos. And unfortunately, Anthony Gordon's got a bit of an ego.
The last time I remember this happening was back under Bobby Robson, when Kieran Dyer refused to play right midfield. If anyone can remember that.
Yeah,
massively.
But, no, I think it was Bellamy.
No, it was Kieran Dyer.
Kieran Dyer refused to play right midfield.
Yeah, it was Bellamy that spat his dummy out, though, because he'd been playing, my old terminology, inside right.
Yeah.
And was asked to play on the wing. And he said, right. And then he found out that Dyer had been asked to play on the wing. And Dyer had refused, so he went off it, because he says, "How can he refuse to play on the right wing, but I can't?" So that was the dilemma then.
With that, it was Dyer who was the one called. I think Dyer's actually he's actually came up himself and said, "Look, I apologise for what I did, because I realised he was like a granddad who was basically in."
He's been ever so contrite since.
But
too little, too late, one might say.
We're going back in time anyway. We'll get it back to the present.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That went retro.
So back to the present, indeed. Where was that up to? Unbeaten 7-2. Right, the quirky facts. Newcastle have just won just one of the last 7 against Leeds. Drawn 4, lost 2. And that was a 1-0 at Elland Road in January 22. Leeds have won just 2 of their last 8 away games against Newcastle. But they are unbeaten in the last 3, won 1 and drawn 2. Newcastle have won both of their last Premier League games, the last winning more in succession in April 25 when we won 5. So we've started the run, you might say, scoring exactly twice in all 7 fixtures. The last promoted team to beat Newcastle at St James's Park was Leeds back in 2021. And since then, the Magpies are unbeaten in their last 13 home games against newly promoted sides. Leeds are unbeaten in the last 3, as I've just gone into, with draws against Brentford, Sunderland and Liverpool. The last went 4 without losing away from home in the top flight in 2001. So they've got a 20-year plus hoodoo to break. They've drawn the last 3, but the Whites haven't drawn 4 in a row on the road since October 1998. So that's another. So we've got, if the win, they're going to, if the draw, they're going to create a 20-year record. If the win, they're going to create a 30-year record. And as I say, these records are there for a reason. So that all points, fortunately, to a Newcastle victory.
Yay.
Newcastle have forced 248 pressed sequences in the Premier League this season. That's more now than any other side. It was Bournemouth who were in front of us in that stat. But now we've overtaken Bournemouth in that stat.
To take Christina's point here, just a quick question. What's the pressed sequence? I don't know what that
is. It's when the opposition player in their own level with or behind their own the line of their own penalty box.
Yeah,
hasn't got a yard of distance, a meter of distance between himself and the opposition.
So it means pressing.
It means he's got no time to think about. He's under pressure, which is that's the press.
So, sorry for being thick, but I didn't.
No. That's fine. No. That's fine.
Sorry for being thick, but not sorry for saying. I'll take Christina's point off.
Listen, the number.
Yeah. Let's throw Christina under the bus, Bulky. I know.
Catching strays.
The number of times when I was at school, and the teacher would turn round and say, "Has everybody got that?" And I hadn't, and I wouldn't, so why is nobody else putting a hand up? And there was one teacher in particular who was brilliant at it, because if I didn't understand, I would stick my hand up and say I didn't understand, because I wanted to understand. I don't get it. You know what you're on about. She says, "Oh, well, that's all right. Michael will explain it to you." And she would point to somebody who hadn't put their hand up. And of course, invariably they would be, "Well, why didn't you put your hand up?" And it was amazing then that more and more people began to ask questions when they didn't actually get something. Good teaching.
Very good.
A little aside for you there. I've always said I'd rather be the dumbest person in the room than the smartest person in the room.
Well,
you're going to learn something.
Some of us don't get a chance.
Well, on this same shot.
So Leeds have drawn the last 3 away. Oh, I've just done that one. Newcastle manager Eddie Howe has never lost a Premier League match versus Leeds in 4 games. Only facing Swansea without losing more, which is 6 against Swansea without losing. But he's never beaten Daniel Falk in the top flight in 3 attempts.
In 3 attempts, yeah. I was going to say that's
so
that's one to go with, isn't it?
Daniel Falk.
Ooh.
Yes.
Where was
Is that it, matey? Are you good?
No, I've got a couple more.
Go on, then.
Harvey Barnes, and this was the other thing that the Leeds fan brought up this morning. I hope Harvey Barnes doesn't start because his joint most league goals against Leeds is 6, with 6 out of the last 8 starts against Leeds. So it's like Leeds are Harvey Barnes's West Ham.
It's weird, that, isn't it?
He invariably will score against them. Calvert-Lewin scored 6 against Newcastle, only netting more against Crystal Palace. So we've got Harvey Barnes gunning for Leeds, and we've got DCL gunning for us. And that concludes the quirky facts, my friends.
Excellent. Boki, you've got some news regarding Daniel Farker.
Oh, in regards to Longstaff.
Biddly bosh.
A bit of a worry there. In regards to it, it looks like Longstaff's out tomorrow's game, doesn't it? He's got an injury. So
Yeah, calf strain. He's been out for a few games. I've noticed recently. If I'm honest,
be
didn't realise
fair,
it was as bad as it was.
again, I think what we all expected from Longstaff is exactly what's happened when he's went to Leeds. He's been a good player for them, good player for us. Never going to be top class. He's never going to be a top of the Premier League player, but he is a brilliant player. He's a really, really good Premier League player. You know, if you're mid-table, you want Longstaff in your team.
He's a good
I think
draft.
he's brilliant, and I think it's good to have a Geordie sort of. There's not many out there now in the Premier League, Geordie players in other teams. It's good to have one that is in another team sort of thing, because there's always been players from up in the northeast who've, been prominent in the Premier League over the years. I've got to call win out for last night. Michael Carrick was a brilliant player.
Yeah, well, listen, I do realise
I don't want to go down that road again, but he was no Longstaff. He was a top.
No. Well, as I say, I realise that my opinion on Carrick is completely different to most people, but that's just what I saw.
It's your opinion, but you're wrong. With Longstaff, as I say, I'm just glad the lad's getting on, and as I say, it's great to have a Geordie out there representing the area, showing how good a players we can develop up here, and keeping that tradition going of great players coming from the northeast.
No, I agree, mate. I agree. Like I said, the one thing that I noticed about Longstaff, if you remember when he played against us for the first time, he marked bloody Bruno out the game. He was around Bruno's ankles. Bruno had no time to move that ball out. I thought he played bloody excellent, if I'm honest with you. And these aren't going to be any, easy runs for us. I must admit, like I say, they are. It seems to be very much that they are the draw specialists. And I suppose if you look at all the bookies, the draw is the favourite one to put down, if I'm honest with you, because of their history.
Random Access has just become a member. Thank you, Random.
Thanks, Random. Glad you got it sorted, my friend. Oh, I've just dropped.
I've
just dropped my mouse.
Guys, I think what you need to check in the chat is if you're still green when you come through on the comments, because if you're still a member, if not, then this change on YouTube means that you've lost your membership, so you might just need to rejoin.
Yeah. You've got something, Tina, regarding players that we need to be looking out for. I'm going to put the team. Well, I was going to put the team across, but now I've lost my mouse and all the batteries. I can't.
It doesn't have a tail. I'm pretty sure that's a hamster.
Oh, it's a hamster. It's a hamster.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go on, Tina, get your point across quick before you get.
Come on,
What? I thought
quick!
he was waiting to put the team up.
No, I'll let you start, and then I'll put the team up because I'm putting my batteries back in.
Okay, no problem. Well, yeah, I mean, I've obviously done a little bit of looking into Leeds. I think, their main threat we're all very aware of, which is Calvert-Lewin up front with his 8 goals already this season. The I believe he's their captain, Ampadu. He's
Yeah.
now back from suspension, so he's going to sit in the holding role. That's going to free up the likes of Stack, who he's got as many goal contributions this season as anybody for Leeds, with his 3 assists and 2 goals. Have I got that right? No, I haven't. It's 3 goals and 2 assists.
3 goals. Yeah.
And then obviously you've got Aronson as well, who's the other way around, which is the 2 goals and 3 assists. I've always been a big fan of Goodmanson, who's obviously their left wing back.
Yep.
And they've also got, I'm going to butcher his name, but I think it's Bogle, who
Yep.
I think there's a fitness test going on in regards to whether he's going to be fit to play. But obviously those two on either flank with the wing backs that Daniel Farks kind of adopted this season, they're going to be a constant threat. And the other big news in regards to their team selection is whether Rondon's going to be available, because I believe he's also got a late fitness test, both potentially returning against us, but we're not going to know until the team's selected, I would imagine.
Yeah, I suppose it's like everything, I suppose Daniel Farker will have to wait until he's had the medical clearance from the lads that have played these 3 games in 8 days. They are going to be feeling it, especially the way they play. It's already 1-0 West Ham versus Forest, for anybody that's interested. Like I say, Callum Wilson is free again. So let's see what happens, because by all accounts, there's a rumour out there that Eddie Howe wants him back. Ooh.
Just point out to the chat that I'm not just reading that from Craig Hope's column. I actually did my own research.
There you go. Look at that. You see, we've got our own journals. Yeah, I mean, they have an interesting setup, but it seems to be something of a norm these days with 3 at the back, doesn't it? And like I say, there's been a lot of our fans when Eddie's tried this system, it seems to have fallen flat. But we have come up against a few teams now where we found it really, really difficult. And I must admit, like I say, the only thing that's in advantage of Newcastle is the fact that this is the 3rd game in 8 days. Have they got at that point where they're coming to hit the wall a little bit, which is exactly what the Leeds fan was talking about this morning. One of my really close friends is a massive Leeds fan, been a Leeds fan from the Don Revie days. And it's really funny because he was part of, and I can't remember the rag that it was, all about Leeds. And I am expecting a lot of noise at St James's Park tomorrow, because the one thing, again, memory serving me well, going to Ellen Road a few times, their support, home and away, I think is probably second best in the country. And I think they're a team that deserves to be in the top flight. A team that I respect and have respected for years, especially enjoyed watching them play in the 70s, where footballers used to be footballers. Yeah, not like they are today. So, yeah, I mean, it is an interesting one. And like I say, I believe, and again, I've written a few notes. It's a high-intensity press type of team, if you like. They do like to dominate with that box midfield, man-orientated in midfield, if you like. So they try and overplay you, overpress you. They try and win the ball back really high up the field. And again, if you look at a lot of previous matches, again, the highlights it'll show you, have tried to win it in the offensive third, if you like, or at least in and around midfield. They're always mad on them second and third balls, really aggressive fullbacks. But we'll happily concede territory if it means triggering turnovers. So again, we were talking before about keeping the ball in front of you, get in your shape, but don't drop too deep. And Leeds and Daniel Farker over at least the last 7 games seems to have reached that with ease. It keeps them, it keeps them rigid. It keeps them focused on what their initial jobs are. And for me, they've got several strengths. They win the ball high, as I've just said. They have this quick vertical attack, which for me is all about speed and like I say, getting that second and third ball. It's a relentless tempo for the first 60 minutes, I've noticed as well. So again, for me, noticeable that this is the 3rd game in 8 games could be a massive plus for Newcastle. But it's one that has to be managed, and it's certainly one that has to be patient going into the game. some of the weaknesses that I've seen, if I'm honest with you, there ain't a lot of them. Sometimes with pace, and again, we talk about leaving Anthony Gordon out the side. I understand it for some of the comments, but these are weak behind the fullbacks. There's always space to find behind the fullbacks. Sometimes they overcommit numbers forward. So again, as Newcastle have been dominant in doing, is losing the ball. They have the same issue at times. They overcommit numbers forward, and then obviously it breaks down, and they can get or leak goals in and behind. And again, 60 minutes, they're hard work, but again, fatigue in late games. So again, is Newcastle going to be the same as Crystal Palace? Was that more of a coaching role for them? Take your time, be patient, and then get the win in the final quarter of the game.
As long as the win comes.
Yeah, I was going to say, Leeds don't want a football match. They want a scrap played at speed. And that is something that I look at. And, for you guys now, is that something that we're up for? Is it something that you see the team going forward? Because, like I say, you've already mentioned Aronson. He likes that support. Again, he plays in a very similar to when we played Crystal Palace. This setup is a very similar. Justin will drop into Gordon's position. Goodmanson, who you've mentioned there, Tina, will drop in against Murphy. So again, for me, it's about getting them pushed back rather than seeing them move forward. Have they got the agility, the breath, if you like, to keep playing at that pace throughout the game? And like I say, Calvert-Lewin, he seems to be one with confidence at the moment in front of goal. He's certainly going forward with 8 goals now in this team that people say were one of the favourites to go down. So, like I say, I think, whatever he's doing, Farker, he's doing a good job with this team. Like
there's a lot of talk in the Leeds chats, online, the YouTube channels and things that I've watched a couple of last couple of days. And they are comparing the football that Falk is playing now to what they played under oh God, I forgot his name now. The South America. Anyway, somebody in the chat tell us who I mean. Which was very much gung ho, attack. Bodies in the box, and that's the way they're playing now. When they go forward in numbers. They try and flood the opposition box, which leaves massive gaps behind. A bit like Ange Ball at Tottenham, where you're wide open to the break. So that's when we really need some pace up front.
Because was it Scubala you're on about?
No. Oh my God.
Let's forget.
Or Bielsa.
Bielsa, that's him. Yes.
Oh, the Italian.
Let's forget it's Sunderland, but isn't it good though to see teams getting promoted from the Championship and actually challenging in the Premier League this season? And as I mean challenging as in they're all going to be able to stay up, probably a couple of them, because I mean it's been over the last few years it's been the same 3 down.
3 up, 3 down, yeah.
3 down, 3 up, 3 down. Whereas this season it seems to be a bit different in that. They are able to challenge, which I think it makes it a better league, to be honest, when you've got things.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody's saying that this year is a weak league. I don't think it is. I think it's stronger.
No, I think it's a strong league, yeah.
Because the teams that have come up haven't just come up for the money.
No.
To go back down again. They're coming up and I think really it's because the 3 that came up
are big teams,
are proper what you may call proper Premiership teams, apart from Sunderland, obviously. But no, Sunderland are a Premier League team and all.
I agree with it, but it's just refreshing to see. It's not just the Premier League teams basically playing 3 teams that have came up. The teams that have came up are now probably Premier League teams, or 2 of them at least are. It is refreshing. I think it's a good thing for the league to freshen it up and to give
these big clubs,
teams a chance.
Historically big clubs back in,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm just going to whack in just their passing lanes for this was away against Liverpool at Anfield, and you can see they often play with 5 at the back with these wing backs playing the three dominant centre-backs, and then you'll have left and right push on. And again, when you're playing up against the likes of Liverpool, who like to contain the ball and utilise the ball in front of them, Leeds were quite comfortable in just giving them the ball, sitting back, and then when they can, breaking numbers. So again, that's what we've got to be aware of. It's not going to be a give me by any chance. And this is their passing lanes last weekend, again at home. Very similar setup with the five at the back. But again, you can see they bunch up in the middle of the park just to try and, compress that midfield, box four, and then break from there. And it's usually Okafor, the number 19 lad on that left-hand side, who creates that pace and that whip, who's always playing off the shoulder, will try and get in and behind down that right-hand side. Our left, if you like. Sorry, our right, their left. So it's Miley's going to have his work cut out again if that's where he decides to play. I have a feeling it won't change much if the medical staff all come forth and say, they're all fit. Only because we've got Bournemouth, who are potentially going to be missing some of their star players. We know Kluivert is out, and it sounds like Semenyo's going for his medical on Thursday. So it could be a great time to play Bournemouth this weekend. And I think that you could see potentially where the changes are going to come.
Just quickly, a message from the station.
The station.
It would appear that due to recent price changes, some members were refunded their most recent payment because they were not opted into the new pricing structure. If it applies to you, you'll need to rejoin #NUFC.
Interesting.
So that's obviously something that's going on at YouTube behind the scenes.
Yeah. Right then, let's have a quick look at something else. There's, for me, this is, like I said, it's not going to be something that Newcastle. Again, I'm hoping for it. We have been really good from the outset. A little bit frustrated against Crystal Palace because of the setup, but we've been starting off really, really quickly, haven't we? And I want that to continue, if I'm honest with you. It'll be nice to be able to go into a game and, again, talk about confidence, go into the lead early on and retain that lead. And, again, control the game, control the tempo. That's what I want to start seeing Newcastle do. Is there anything from that you guys think otherwise?
Well, we can control it, Christina? Do you think we can control the game?
Yeah, I think Leeds is one of the worst type of teams to play against with what their strengths are as opposed to what our weaknesses are. But I think because of their intense way of playing, especially in the first half, I think this is one of those games where, in recent games, we have gone ahead quite early. Well, not very recent games, but we did go on a run where we were going ahead very early on. And I think this is one of those games where it's vital that we get an early lead and try to put what we've been working on in regards to controlling a game into action. In my ever optimistic heart of hearts, what I would like us to do is grab an early 2 goals, which I think might be the only, because the thing is with Leeds is they've got so much, although they're a very battling team, they've got players who can create, and if we leave it too late or if we give them a chance to claw it back, they are a dangerous side. So I would like to see us push really, really hard, get the first goal, keep pushing after that, try to grab a second, and then maybe see if our defensiveness has improved since last time we tried to defend.
Interesting. I'll tell you something now, though. These, and again, apologies, because these may come up pretty small on your screen if you're viewing it. It's the FOTBomb rating at the moment. Leeds United are currently 16th place. Goals per match at 1.3, currently lying 13th place. Goals conceded lying in 15th place. So again, when you look at where they are in the league, a lot of these numbers actually work out where they are and where they lie. Average possession As Wynn's already said, it's 40-odd%. It's nothing major. And like I say, with clean sheets, they've only had 3 all season. So again, in and around the 15th mark. But again, attendances, they've always had a good attendance for their ground, because it's not really been updated. 36,000. And like I said, for me at St James's Park, you will hear them before you'll see them, because they are pretty loud. Expected goals are a little bit higher. They are creating a lot more than they're showing. They're in 11th. XG difference, like I say, they're in 11th, the same. And for shots on target, in 11th. And I'll put Newcastle's on in a moment to see where Newcastle are against Leeds, and you can see exactly how we vie. Big chances created.
One thing that might put Tina's mind at rest is that Leeds have only scored 1 goal after the 80th minute.
80th minute, yeah.
That's
what I said. They blow out towards the end of games. They put everything in. And that's what I said. I think for us tomorrow night will be more patience and go from there to see where we go. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Still, more or less every game this season, we've always come out the blocks well. Home and away, we've always come out well.
Yeah.
The problem is once we hit 20 minutes, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah, we seem to drop off, don't we?
Especially if we score.
It's criminal.
And sit back, it's weird.
Yeah, it is criminal. Like I say, they've accurate passes, they're at 13. So again, they're a bottom tier table when it comes to it. But when you look at where they are in the accurate crosses per match, they're actually first in the league. And Newcastle are third, believe it or not, even though I don't think we've been that great battling down the wing. But Leeds United, as you can see, very good, accurate crossing down the wing plays. So it's something that we certainly need to be aware of. But all the other metrics, apart from tackles per match, are in the lower half.
You tend not to kind of remember crosses unless they result in goals. And so many of ours haven't resulted in goals.
No, well, you're absolutely right on that as well.
Some great crosses into the box this season that haven't resulted in goal. I mean,
that's what I mean.
But Burns is a one that I remember. He put 2 absolutely brilliant crosses into the box in one game, and they sort of didn't go anywhere. So maybe that's something we need to look at: is getting the strength.
Is that Rivellino Burns you're on about?
I always being nice about Burn. Take it too far though. Maybe that's something we need to look at: is are our strikers playing far enough up the pitch? Because I don't think they are at times. I think the whole team,
I agree with you,
be dropping back a lot. I think sometimes if you push a little 10 yards forward with the whole team, and you've got your 2 attacking midfielders going in there, and the winger who hasn't got the ball on the other side going in the box, it gives you a hell of a chance if you put a good cross into the box.
Yeah, but that requires your striker to be up there, because when the striker moves forward, it automatically drags the rest of the team up the pitch.
And that's something that Wissa definitely brings to the team. He is more of a forward player. I know that was mentioned by Gary yesterday.
Did he mention that?
Yeah, I think he mentioned it once.
I don't think I did.
He's got a fair point, which comes up here actually quite well, which is that Wissa definitely pushes forward more. I think that's something that we get more out of Barnes than we get from Gordon as well. Even though Gordon's known more as like the pacey attacking one, I think when we've got attacks coming down, whichever side's the opposite where Barnes is playing, I think Barnes has got more tendency to get involved in the box, and Waldemar does probably pull back a bit, but we've seen when he is in the box, I mean, he's lethal. So
yeah.
But I think part of that is, I think all 4 will agree on this one, which is strange. But again, with corners and free kicks, why do we put every player back into the defense? It's absolutely ridiculous. You've got the likes of, fair enough, he's not playing because he's injured, but the likes of Alanga or the Gordons in the team now. We've got Wissa in the team now. Why not leave Wissa and Gordon or Alanga on midfield so you've got 2 players up there?
Put them on the halfway line, our half on the halfway line, so they can't be offside. Automatically, the opposition has to pull at least two players back, and would normally pull three
exactly.
players back.
You don't lose anything defensively wise in regards to the fact that they, as you say, when they've got to put more players back to defend them, and it just gives you. I think this is part of the problem that we've had when we've been.
You clear the ball and it just comes straight back at you.
It just comes straight back because there's nothing there for the players to work.
It boggles my mind why, because it's not just Eddie that does this, by the way. There's no teams now who defend corners or
well, Palace did, didn't they? Palace had a couple of players left upfield, and that's why I said it makes you think from set pieces that, you know, they do give you something to think about. You know, even if you throw one up there, Chelsea do it as well. Chelsea will leave one up there, and it does make it makes you that frame of mind where I need to drop two back, and that's why I was really upset with us chasing the game 2-1 up still. When obviously Chow made his mistake, and that was a shame. The script that's on the screen at the moment is just showing Newcastle all in the 5 to 10 bracket. They're all in the top side of it. So the metrics are there. And according to somebody in the chat, he thinks that we're playing PSG, or he thinks that we're showing PSG on the screen and thinks it's going to be a walkover. I don't think it's going to be that easy, if I'm honest with you. And like I say, the proof will be in the pudding. I hope you're right. I hope it is going to be a walkover, but I don't think it's going to be that easy.
Can I just point out that although I am talking about how dangerous Leeds are, I am still predicting a 7-1 victory for Newcastle. So I don't want people to get too downhearted that I've went too negative in this stream. So
yeah, I mean, where do you think then the key battles that will decide this game? I mean, do you think it's going to be the fullbacks? I mean, like I say, you know, everybody's bullying Miley up, and you saw the two deepest players at some point, if you like, Bruno and Miley get to the goals against Palace late on in the game. It's something I want to see, but we can't always rely on the forward line to score goals because we know our wingers aren't doing that. And again, Wissa or Voltemada, again, I think they've both shown equal qualities on a different level and a different form. I think, again, I don't mind who plays up top because I think they could both do a job. I just think with three at the back, does this not give Wissa that opportunity to run in and behind that space if given? But again, I don't, because of the way Murphy was playing, and again, I don't like to keep referring to the Rat, but the one thing the Rat was very good at was sometimes coming out of that mid-line, he'd go just on the inside right or inside left position. So if Murphy drops into a more of a defensive role, there was always a ball up for Murphy to recover into that right-hand side to collect that second or third ball. And the same with Anthony Gordon. If he drops in to support Louis Hall or Tino, whoever starts, again, you've got somebody to go out there and play on that outside level rather than play directly through the middle. And I think that is probably where we have lost a little bit of momentum going with Wissa, because Wissa at the moment just seems to be on the shoulder, looking to get in and behind against the teams that have played a little higher line. Do you think Leeds suit Voltemada or Wissa?
Can I be
both,
you, Gary, with your first question in regards to where do we win this game? I think we'll win it from the bench. In regards to the coaches, I think we've got a better coach than they have in Eddie Howe. He's made better than Frank. Let's be honest. He's a good coach. He's a good coach. And in regards to the game, as long as he picks the right team and we play well, we should absolutely smash Leeds. Leeds have done well this season. Let's be honest, they've had a good season, but we're a hell of a lot of a better team than them. We've got better players. We've got better
on
management. On paper, but we'll have the win. I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got better players. We've got a better coach. As long as everything's in place, so as long as the coaching staff and everything's in place there, then I think we absolutely smash these. So as long as there's no issues with team management or players being chosen, we go out and we win this game when we win it comfortably. And let's hope we're already on a run. So let's hope this is the game that makes us start getting You know,
Well,
the not only the run, but the sort of the game that we want to see. So the exciting, the passionate football, you know, and we'll go out and actually just thrash a team. I think that's what we need to do to get all the fans back on board. Is just go out and absolutely give a team an absolute aim.
here's the key for me. We both agree that on paper we have got by far the better players,
Yeah,
but they're only the better players when they perform. And too many of them this season haven't been performing. For whatever reason, you can say whatever reason you want, but it's nobody's fault but the players if they misplace a 10-yard pass. And that's what we've been doing consistently all season. And the players that we've got shouldn't be doing that. They're better than that. At least we like to think they're better than that. I think they're better than that.
100%.
that's exactly what I'm saying. No, let's not look at the negatives that we've had so far this season. Let's go for the positives. We have got the better team.
Yeah.
We can go out and
Absolutely.
absolutely hammer these. Our midfield's better. Our defence is better. Our goalkeeper's better. Our strike force is better. You know,
Yeah.
no matter how you look at it, we have the beating of these guys. Our manager's better. Our coach and staff are better. There's absolutely no reason why we don't go out and give these lads a hammering. You know,
And we've had a bigger rest between games.
exactly. So, you know, let's not worry about this game. You know, we're going to go out and we're absolutely going to bamboozle them with our style and, you know, get the best result of the season for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I am storing a couple in the chat because, like I say, there's.
Tina, where do you reckon the difference is going to be if you can spot a one?
I mean, the only thing that I would say definitely from what you have said, I mean, we do definitely have a better team lineup. I mean, they've got some good players, which we can highlight. They've got some dangerous players like Calvert-Lewin, but I mean, we do have a better first team. The question that I would have is just with something that Gary was saying earlier on about where Leeds are intense, is potentially. And we might not be able to do it depending on Murphy's injury, but are we going to maybe be looking to wear a team down again and then, you know, make changes that turn us up to 10 like it did against Crystal Palace, where we looked like a different team for the last 20 minutes of that game? So I'm wondering if that might be something that we try to do. But I think that just controlling the midfield is going to be the important thing. They've got a lot of players in there, and I think that needs to be like nullified. So it's going to be important that whichever three we've got in midfield, just make sure they keep everything tidy and then get us back on the attack, where I think we can really hurt these. I think our forward line, if they're, you know, if they're gunning
If
for
they're
it, if they're
firing.
on form, then we could blow these away. But I would also be cautious because, as I say, they're a dangerous side who don't lose many games.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, like I say, it is definitely going to be an interesting one for me. I think the one thing for me, if you look at the tactical approach, I think what Newcastle must avoid is central passes under pressure. I think what we've noticed over the last few games is we've been giving the ball away quite cheaply through the middle of the park, and it's not just one person. It seems to be everybody under pressure. They don't seem to be. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be. I don't think anybody wants to give the ball away. I just don't think, like I say, they're expecting these lesser clubs, as we say, to be onto them as much as they have been. And I certainly don't think we need to be overcommitting fullbacks early. Like I said, I think this is going to be more of a patient game. I want to see, again, one or t'other. I don't want to see both running through the backs. And again, I don't want to see us tired out. Again, you know, even though we've had a longer rest, we've got a hell of a lot of games coming our way. And again, it's slow, square build-ups inside their press traps because that's what they want to see. What these guys have got a habit of doing is allowing that square pass, and then they'll anticipate one, and then they'll just break on you. And Aronson and Okafor, like I say, running from that, very similar to a Crystal Palace setup, into those spaces, especially if we overcommit the likes of Louis Saul going forward. We've just got to be careful of doing that.
Gary, can I slightly disagree with you there in regards to how we start the game? I want to see what Apps go out 100 miles an hour and just go for them. I think in regards to it, I think I want the fullbacks to be pushing forward. We're under the lights at St James's. It's going to be a cold night. I just think if we can get the crowd are going to struggle. They do because of the cold. It's a natural thing with any crowd there that if we go out and we set the game on fire from the start and absolutely go for it, get the crowd up, maybe get a goal, hopefully get a couple of goals up or a goal up at least, I think that sets up for the night. So I slightly disagree in regards to sitting back at the start. I think we're absolutely...
No, I didn't say sitting back. I says what we've got to be careful of is forcing central passes under pressure and over-committing fullbacks early. So I didn't say not getting them forward. I think you've got to do left side and then you've got to bring the right side in. I think sometimes we can go a little bit gung-go early on in the game to get that early goal. And then all of a sudden, like you say, after that 20-minute mark, because we've given it all, we tend to then sit on the 18-yard box a little bit too deep for me. I don't mind a mid-block out of possession where you've got your wall and then just get your breath back and then go again. I don't mind that at all. I just think for some unknown reason, we go a little bit deep at times. Even against Crystal Palace, we looked sometimes to go right on the edge of our 18-yard box. And that, for me, just defeats the object because even if you do win the ball back, there's very little out ball that you can achieve because of where your starting position is. So, and again, it's that slow build-up, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not contradicting what you're saying, Boki. I don't want to see the slow build-up. I want to see quick passing through the passing lanes to try and get into Wissa or Voltamada, whoever's playing.
Johnny T in the known tree saying Leeds are intense. What they're doing intense.
I just think from the start, we, especially with being a night game at St James's Park, with it's
a special occasion, mate.
That's going to be is absolutely just go for it. Would be my I don't know what Christina thinks, but I would just go for it.
Oh yeah, no, that I said earlier on. I think the idea of getting an early goal or an early 2 goals is what I'd like to do. And I think Gary actually put better what I was trying to say before about the midfielder keeping it tight, is just not giving them a chance to steal that ball. I apologise, I didn't say that very well before. But when he was talking, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I was trying to say a second ago to watch for. So that's what I meant by the midfield keeping it tight. But yeah, I mean, I think we've shown already this season, even in games where people would say we haven't played very well, that the start of a game, we generally come out really up for it, especially at St James's. So yeah, I would love to see us press. But I mean, we obviously have to be cautious of getting caught on the counter. But we've shown that we can push for those goals. And I think, if anything, we've seen that we're better at pushing for goals than we are at trying to defend ever at all under any circumstances. So
I'll tell you the other thing we've seen now on numerous occasions now this season, and I watched a TikTok compilation of Miley's.
TikTok.
Well, only because it was linked in the forum.
No,
and it was Miley's moments from Sunday's game, and the way he was bringing the ball out when surrounded by an opposition press coming away with the ball. And Lewis Hall has done that now on numerous occasions. So has Tino on the odd occasion. But Lewis Hall in particular has been very, very adept at doing that. When surrounded by 3 players, he somehow comes away with the ball through the 3 of them, and we're off to the races. And the way Leeds play and do that press at times, that should give us numerical advantage in their final third.
I mean, as well, as you said, when it was his worst game of the season, I think you said after the match. So I mean, if you can do it in that game, Miley. So if you can do it in that,
I never said it was Miley's worst game of the season.
You did. If you watch a match reaction, you did.
I didn't say he was man of the match. I disagreed that he was man of the match.
No, you disagree. You said that was the worst game that you'd seen Miley play in that position. Watch your back.
Do we think Miley's going to start right back on?
Clip it.
Clip it, guys. Come on.
And did somebody clip Bulky praising Eddie Howe before, by the way? I noticed chat picked up on the fact that he did that. I want that on a clip and on a soundbite for every time that bloke starts piping up.
Christina, well, before the game, you've got to go with your manager. You've got to go with who's in charge and the players. So I'm 100% behind it. I'm always 100% behind Howe because he's our manager. It doesn't mean I want him to be our manager, but I'm always 100% behind him at a game time and all that because I want Newcastle to win. I think that's sometimes what the chat don't get is, yes, we're negative about the results or the games or things like that, but we all want Newcastle United to win. We're all Newcastle fans. That's why we sit and do this.
Except for that picture that we've seen of you in that red and white top, Bulky.
Yeah, there was quite a few people in the chat thinking that you were lining up Eddie for a fall there, Bulky, I think.
Everyone's suspicious of Bulky.
I really can't win because I've been trying to be positive the night because the run we're on. I don't want to sit here and be negative guy. But as soon as I'm positive, everyone's going, "Oh, he's doing something great. He's up to something here."
This is Bulky's plan B.
So what do you think Newcastle should do then? You think about going, quick, get at them really early, isolate probably the wingers, make them work. And I'm talking about Leeds, make them run early on, and punish them because obviously they're going to tire if we keep hold of the ball. And for me, that is the big thing. Control tempo.
But let's go back to Eddie's presser and the infamous what's happened to a plan B after onslaught. What's happened to a plan B, and what was Eddie's response to that? No, what you've got to do is stick with plan A, but do it better, and that's what we've got to do. We've got to do what we've been doing all season, but do it better. Don't give the ball away needlessly. Don't turn the ball over needlessly. Just carry out the plan better than we have been executing it.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what though? I think with Eddie, we need to. I think after that press conference, he probably went out of there and thought, "I shouldn't have said that." You can't say we don't have a plan B.
Yeah.
I think he was rattled by the.
No. What he said was that the plan A morphs into different plans anyway.
But what I'm saying is, I think he probably went out of there thinking, "I shouldn't have said we don't have a plan B." I think as a manager, it sounds poor saying you haven't got a plan B, so you've got nothing in place. So I think he got rattled in that press conference. And let's not blame him for it, because it's the first time that the journalists have actually asked proper questions of him. Probably that was the first press conference where they've rattled him a little bit. But he does have to have the plan B, and the plan B has to be surely at some point to put Wissa and Voldemort on together, especially if we're losing the game. Stick two strikers on. He can't just keep rotating the way he is. So it's not going to happen in the next few games because we're going to win the next few games because the teams that we should be beating. But
all we've got to do is wait till we get Callum back, and then we've got our third striker.
Against Man City, if we're 1-0 down against Man City, surely at some point he has to think to himself, "I'm going to play these two together," because we need a goal in the cup competitions. So as I say, don't pull him up for saying it because I get why he did because he was rattled, but also he will have a plan B, which has to be able to play with two strikers.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I say you can see both sides of the coin here for me. I think, like I said, I just want to see Newcastle again. Chelsea first off will do me fine because if we play to that level, then there should never be a plan B because the lads have took the plan A to the next level anyway. I mean, there'd be very few teams, and I'm going to say in the Premier League and potentially in Europe, that would have matched us that day in that first 45 minutes. I just think Newcastle were that good, and yeah, I mean, like I said, you could argue the fact that was Chelsea on the half pace? Did they come with that mindset? At the end of the day, you can only play the team in front of you. And like I said, any team in this Premier League at this present moment in time doesn't mean it's the best league in the world. I just think every coach stroke manager in this league have bought sensibly. They're actually producing very good tactics now to isolate the opponent's tactics. And I think what we've seen from Eddie's tactic, this is plan A, is a lot more teams, opposing teams, actually make it more distilled than it actually was. The tempo's definitely gone down because of the injuries. He doesn't want to go into every competition with a bench full of injured people. I understand that as well. So something has to give. But if we can get to that tempo again, and I keep saying it's midfield balance for me. You know, you've got a great player in Tonali, and I think he is press resistant to a degree. And I just think he needs to get his head with a little bit of confidence, and he needs a game like Chelsea where we can go out there, play to that level, and I think you'll see a different Tonali doing that. We know Bruno can break the lines with some of his passing and some of his runs. So again, it's about playing with that freedom to want to go and win. And Joe Linton, for me, again, I think he played his best game I've seen him play this season. I just don't want him to sit over on that left-hand side. I want him to cover more of the midfield because, again, that's what these guys will be looking at with that box four midfield. Leeds. So we've got to be careful when it comes to J7 being a little bit further on the left-hand side. And again, I do think J7, because he's been repositioned, rejigged, we always utilise J7 from Pope's kicks deep, don't we? J7 will go on the inside left position and Pope will try and find him. And I do put try in inverted commas. And it gives us an out, if you like, further up the field. It's Voltemade if Voltemade's playing, so we don't always utilise J7. But I think, for me, because he plays on that inside left position with Pope, he actually runs back in that vein as well. So he's like on train tracks. And I think sometimes he watches the game go by rather than be involved in the game unless the ball's to him. So I just want to see him be a little bit more mindful of where his positioning is. And I think he would be, especially for the Leeds game, the perfect candidate for that mid-three. And like I said, I think with rotation and everything else, there is numbers within this squad now that can come in for games that will suit them individually rather than keeping to this plan A of the same 11. I don't think it means that at all anymore.
Can I just ask Christina a quick question? If we get to 60 minutes in this game and hopefully we're 5-0 up and everything's going brilliantly, but if we don't, it's 0-0, or God forgive, but if we're behind, would you at that point then just make the decision to go with two up front, or would you stick to the same as what Eddie does, which is like for like replacements?
Well, I would have done the two up front. And the reason that I would say yes for this game is because Leeds play with three at the back, which is why I agreed with everybody when they were crying out for it against Manchester United. And I mean, I can see obviously with Wissa, like, you know, still finding fitness, haven't been out for most of the season, not wanting to, you know, Walter probably been running to the ground with how many minutes he's played this season. I can see why he hasn't went with it, but with the rests that Walter has had over the past few games, with Wissa now looking like he's back to, you know, being at match fitness, I would think teams, if you haven't broken down a team that plays with three at the back, you need to give those three defenders something different to think about, which is where I would consider having Walter and Wissa in the same lineup, especially if we haven't scored by the 60th minute. And I think that would also take a lot of the pressure from, if there is, like the type of pressure that I can't remember his name, the journalist who was asking the questions at
Lee Raider.
That's the guy. I knew his name was Lee, but I can't remember the rest of his name. I was going to call him Lee Max because I saw Lee in the chat. But yeah, I think I think that would cheer a lot of fans up if we just saw him do it just once. If we were needing a goal and he did put the two of them up front together, I think the fans would absolutely rejoice. But, you know, like we say, Eddie's plan B generally seems to be making changes to what type of player we've got, where, for example, bringing Gordon off, who's a bit of a presser and a runner, and putting Barnes on, who's a bit more technical and can cut inside a bit more, or bringing Murphy off, who's, well, I mean, he hasn't been at the races, but he's more of like a crosser, putting on an Elanga and you know, being a bit more direct. So I think so far we've seen that when he does jig the formation through a game, he does change things a little bit, but I think when you're playing against the three at the back, that's when two strikers could be could be the one to go with.
Ooh, love it. Love it. I mean, like I said, I can't wait for the day where we do play these two strikers. Oh, West Ham have gone 2-up against Forest now. That's squeaky bum time for Forest.
It's 1-0. It was offside.
Oh, was it offside? Oh dear.
Yeah.
It's criminal to think that the way they are going at the moment, like I say, any team at the minute seems to be. How is that offside? Or unless it was the build-up.
I'm trying to watch it up here.
I'm going to say, yeah, how was that offside? Anyway, let's get back onto our show. I just think, like I say, that we should have far too
definitely offside.
Yeah, it's on the build-up.
It is.
I just think, for us, there's going to be a lot of if we spread the field of play. Now, I've often said I've been critical of us playing too wide at times because we isolate the attacker. And again, it doesn't matter who plays up top. We've seen it with Wissa when we isolate them. We've seen it with Voltemada. I think the difference between Wissa, if he's isolated, the same as Isaac, he has got the ability to run off the shoulder, which obviously Voltemada can't do. So we have to work the game totally differently. So for me, if we go to the left-hand side, it'd be nice to see Murphy to play more inside, closer to Wissa, and maybe utilise Miley rather than bring Lewis Hall up into the equation, because we've got J7 that can play the inside left position, Bruno inside right, or play the 10, Tonali tuck into the 8s, and Miley then maybe go where Murphy is if Murphy goes on the diagonal. So again, I think there's ways of doing it. I just think sometimes we end up ball watching. We just end up watching the game play around us, and we don't get a lot of movement. Did you guys not see the frustration on Tonali at Crystal Palace throwing his arms out?
Well, you see, that's the thing. Crystal Palace, I thought that's comfortably that midfield three. It's the best that midfield three's played all season, comfortably. Absolutely. All three of them. It was J7's best game. Bruno had his magic cape on, and Tonali, whilst he misplaced a couple of passes, big deal, was certainly on the way back to his best.
But if you look at the actual stats of the game, the sort of
that's not you looking at stats book, surely.
As I said,
leave it out, lad.
I've discovered SofaScore. It's brilliant. So you talk about that, the XA for the expected assists for the Tonali and J7. I think J7's was 0.02 as an attacking midfielder, and Tonali's in the midfielder was 0.01. Mm-hmm. So what's the job in the game as a midfield is to set up the team to attack. And from them stats, they're not doing it.
No, and that is the problem. You look at, was it Bruno got 8 goals now in all competitions?
7, I think that was on Sunday.
7.
Maybe 8 in all competitions.
Yeah, and I think that is it, isn't it? I think when you look at, you've got 2 players out of the whole team, and I say Voltemada in this, who's on 7, Bruno on 8. Where's the rest? And that for me, it's the goals for column that is the problem for me. And it's certainly got to come from somewhere, and that's why I said, it's really difficult. Oh, Forest have just equalised. It's really crazy to think that we've got players now in this side that just aren't contributing to anything up front, and I think that is where the pressure goes on. If we don't score early, the mentality is do not lose the game. And that's why I think when we go to set pieces, that do not lose the game mentality comes in. And that's why you see everybody drop back rather than let's go out there and win the game, which is the mentality that we'd like to see. We just don't want to concede goals because I think at this present moment in time, we are so, we're struggling apart from, like I say, 2 players. Wissa's got, was it 2 goals now? Wissa got. Harvey Barnes has got, was it 3 XA with assists as well, or something like that. Off the top of my head, I think
Voltemada's got 5 at least.
Voltemada's on 7 goals, I think.
7. Bruno's on 7 as well, by the way.
Can I
Bruno's
just come
on
back
7.
to a point about Tonali's XA for the weekend? Tonali was the further back of the 3 centre midfielders.
Absolutely.
Well, I think with Joe Linton and Bruno, it was them who were supposed to be the ones getting forward and creating chances in that game, and Tonali was the one who was sitting further back. But if I can ask one more question, does anybody know why Bruno doesn't take free kicks? He tries to curl them in from the corner every time he gets a corner, and he's sent one and he's put one on the line. He's hit the crossbar with another. Why is it then letting Fabian Schär take free kicks? And that's coming from Fabian Schär's number one fan.
Exactly.
Because he's watched Fabian for
yeah. We play football, not rugby, mate.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
He's great at shooting from outside the box, sure, at times in regards to.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's a dead ball specialist. Certainly not, if I'm honest, Christina.
Yeah, so why doesn't Bruno take the free kicks? I've never seen him strike a free kick at goal, and he's bending them in from the corner. Like, if you can do that,
you can do anything, mate. That's what I'm saying.
Fair point.
I mean, it is what it is. And according to somebody in the chat, Wynn's doing a Gordon and he's refusing to play on the right-hand side, so we've got to move him. He's got to go on the left-hand side now because, like I say, he's thrown his rattle. Doesn't want to play on the right end anymore. So there you go. You've had it, mate. I've made the coach's decision. But what do you guys think then of the team? Let's put the team up for the finale before we go to the last few minutes. This is the team, obviously, that both teams played last game. Again, I can't see a lot of changes to the Leeds team. They have got players, as Tina has rightly said, coming back. Will Farker change and risk these players again? You know, they've got games coming thick and fast, the same as we have. So I think it may be the same set of 11 for them, same formation. Would you change anything, guys, when it comes to players in the team? And obviously, we're not going to change the system now in January.
Ronald, 2-6. Breaking news. Ronald Turnbull, 429, just became a member. Ronald, prediction for tomorrow.
Yeah, get the banners out. Get the banners out.
I think we'll all agree on this one, Gary. Miley should never be in that team. It should be Barnes. Barnes should, however,
Miley shouldn't be in the team.
No, sorry, not Miley. Murphy should not be in that team. It should be Barnes, and how he chooses either Wayne Gordon or Bain Barnes is up to him. But Murphy shouldn't be anywhere near the team after the weekend. He shouldn't be anywhere near in fact, he shouldn't be anywhere near Elland Road. He should be up there in 19, sitting in a cafe somewhere in Newcastle, thinking about what he did at the weekend. So,
Jody Howe, man, saying Gary moving back is just as ineffective on the left.
Listen, you can't have it both ways, Jody, man.
By the way, I've just done, obviously it's a deep dive to try and find out how many free kicks Schär's taken. But eyesight tells you it's a lot. Yeah. How many goals do you think he scored direct from free kicks?
Let's move on to a different subject. So, what do you think about Wickham and Wallamara tomorrow? Who's going to play?
250 games. How many direct free kicks might you reasonably assume he would have taken?
Hang on. Can I ask a question on this? Direct free kicks is that's anywhere on the pitch. So does that include if he's took them at the back? So if he's took
what I'm saying is I can't find those stats immediately for how many free kicks
within
he's
taken.
taken.
Within the 25-yard zone.
What I'm saying is, how many have you seen him take around the box?
So these are all box free kicks.
Well, you know, within shooting distance, reasonable shooting distance, 20 yards, let's say, 25
just to
yards.
Confirm, this is definitely not all free kicks he's took. It's just the ones around the 25-yard box.
Yes. How many would you? I can't find out how many he's taken. How many would you reckon he's taken if he's played 250 games for the Toon?
10, 15.
Well, at least I would say probably more. I would say he takes more than 1 in 10 games.
No, I don't think
so that 1 in 10 would be 25 free kicks he's taken from shooting positions. Let's say, how many goals has he scored?
None.
He's actually scored 2.
2?
From free kicks.
There you go. See, free kick specialist.
Did you not hear me say that at the start?
No,
He
I
scored
missed
2
it.
goals.
I was too busy getting
Hang on,
distracted
hang on.
because I thought people were just going to rip me for sure missing that free kick the other day.
We use
Bless
these
you.
stats here, and we don't know how many free kicks he's actually took.
No, exactly.
He could have
But I know he scored 2 goals
He scored 2, and he scored more
from
screamers than
outside the
most the rest of the
18-yard box.
Newcastle team put together.
Hey, he's also scored a penalty, remember? And he took that quite well.
That's a world-class player.
Oh, he's a worldie, mate. He's a worldie. Would you change anybody or would you keep it the same?
No, Murphy's got to come out.
Yeah, I think Murphy out for Barnes.
Well, again, Murphy has had a scan on his hamstring, so are we not 100% sure he's fit, even though Eddie says he potentially is. So you guys would bring him out and you'd throw Barnes in from the start, yeah?
Yep, definitely.
100%.
And I
you
think
wouldn't-
Baltimore starts tomorrow.
And you think Voldemort will start?
I don't know how far you've took Murphy off the screen there, mate, but it's not enough. You need to just keep going and going and going.
Yeah, well, I've took him down the I-91 now. Or is it the 9?
He's
Sorry, the
sending him to
19.
Washington.
Yeah, he's definitely gone past South Shields. Let's have a quick look then. You want Voltamada in the side. You're still happy with Miley at the right back? I think he's got to stay there for a minute. Would you not bring Tino in from the start and give Hall a rest?
I would bring Tino in for Miley, and I would play Miley instead of J7 against Leeds.
Oh, against Leeds, really?
Yeah.
Like, if there's ever a game where you think that screams J7, surely it's this one against Leeds.
But does it not also scream a red card, Tina?
Fair point. That's why I didn't want him to come back against Sunderland, to be fair. I was like, oh, he's just going to go and chin people.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't need that Joel Linton.
Is this a chance to push Tonali to Joe Linton's position?
Miley in the slot. I'd love it, mate. I would really love that.
And then
see that.
and Tino with right back.
I mean, like I say, for me, that would have been it for me. Because, like I say, then you can go with both fullbacks if he drops in between the two centre
I've been
halves.
crying out for number 6 behind Gimaresh and Tonali for absolutely ages. So I would love to see that. Look, 1 year for Christmas I didn't get what I had asked for, so I don't expect things to be that good. But I would absolutely love it, especially with what I've seen from Ryan recently with what he's done.
Yeah, I'd love to see that, and I'd love to see Voldemort and Wisser up top as well.
And does Shaw come out for Botman as well? Is the other question.
Sorry?
Did Shaw come out for Botman?
Does Shaw come out for Botman?
I'll tell you something now. You're pulling at her banjo string here. You know that, don't you?
Don't make me do an angry face, Bulky. You will not like me when I do an angry face.
You don't like it, mate. It's terrible to wind her up.
In all seriousness, with Shaw, he's an older player. If Botman's fit, should Botman come in and Shaw drop out? And to be fair, I don't think he would. I don't think Eddie would do it with this team because he's already playing Tino, who's just back from injury. But for me, I think maybe we need to manage Shaw's minutes a little bit more.
Well, he was on the bench. You could certainly start Botman and then some. But the other, do not wait for 60 minutes to make subs if they're crying out for.
But then potentially, if we go with this team, that's our best back four. That's probably our best midfield, as far as I'm concerned at the minute. I know people will disagree with GS7, but I think that's our best midfield that we can play at the minute. And I think it's probably our best front three. So I would love it. You can argue Voldemort of it, Wisser, but I think that's basically our best team we're putting out if we do that.
I mean, with Bournemouth coming up, like I said, you have got to manage minutes, and players that haven't played and returning from injury have to have minutes, because if you want them to continue and get that continuity of match mindedness, if you like, they have to be able to play at that match level, and it's at the speed of the game. So, like I said, that's where match fatigue comes in. Physical fatigue is always going to be there after 90 minutes, compounded with, if you're not playing well, with a low ebb of confidence, the game's just not going your way. That drains you. When you hit that wall, you haven't got that bounce to get over it and continue the run. You've seen it with the body language of some of the lads. When they've hit the wall, they've hit the wall. Especially Anthony Gordon, for me, has been the massive show over this last season, where he's hit the wall, come that 60-minute mark, and the kid just doesn't get past the halfway line post 60 minutes. So you've got to question what's going on there. And like, I mean, I'm with Win on that one. I don't want to wait till 60 minutes to see the first substitution if we need to make it. You know, like I say, you get a free hit at half time if somebody's playing poorly.
That's the one question, though. If we do start Barnes and Gordon, then who comes on in the second half when Gordon's run himself out?
Murphy or Wilson, I guess.
Well, Murphy's not fit, is he? So
well, Ramsey can do it. I just think if you put that looking at that team, if you put that team out against Leeds, I think their manager would be shocked and frightened of that team. I quickly stop myself.
Off the line.
I think if you put that team out against Leeds, their manager and their players would just think, Jesus Christ, that's a tough team we're playing the day.
That's a beast of a team.
It is. It's an absolute beast of a team.
Yeah, like I say, I wouldn't at all be unhappy. And like I said, it's the first time in a few seasons, I'll be honest with you. I don't mind who plays at the back as long as it's not playing players out of position. That is. We have certainly got the right people that can play the right game. We've certainly got the right midfield. I just think, like I say, for some unknown reason, I have to question mark the wing play at the minute. I just don't know what's happened to the output of our wingers. And like I say, we seem to have fallen off a cliff when it comes to that final third, when it comes to it. I have starred a few in the chat, Win, if you want to throw them out there. Like I say,
here we go.
There's a couple before the lads come on and change it all.
Example being, if Pope loses us another game and stays in goal, then it's a coach problem as much as a donkey doing them mistakes. Tony T, what do we think of the 1996 retro training kits coming back? Well, this is an original.
Steve wins.
Leeds are bullies, full stop. I would take even money on J7 not staying on the field. Says Mercury Dame. Very physical game tomorrow. We've lost a bit of that in our game, which is true. We have, says Peter NUFC. And he also says, definitely up for it. Get into them. Foxy's in, saying it's a competitive league, not a stronger league. Yeah, well, semantics, define the difference. And Lou, come on, it's Leeds. We need to beat teams like this to finish top 5. We do indeed. Falklands Geordie, are you in the Falklands? If you are, it must be bloody cold. We must be playing PSG tomorrow. Dear me, remember when we played Leeds at the beginning of the season? We'll hammer Leeds tomorrow by at least 2 goals. And Colton Connor is saying Leeds will play a low block. You can see a mile away. Gavin Fuller. Gary, there is a stat saying our back line has dropped from 29 yards to 20 yards average. That would not surprise me at all. And finally, Kevin Bell, maybe, just maybe, he doesn't want to be giving too much away. This is in relation to Eddie Howe saying no plan B. He just doesn't want to be giving too much away to the world about what his plans are.
Fair point.
And there we have it, folks. Thank you all very much. Thank you for the super chats from, memberships from Queenie, Mercury Dame, Random Access and Ronnie Turnbull, and a lovely £10 super chat from Random Access. Thank you all very much indeed. Without you, we wouldn't be where we are.
That's right. How are you, folks?
Thank
you very much.
It's the A team now. B team are going now. The under 21s are off.
No,
the A team. We're all the A team.
The A team's tired out, so Eddie's changing.
We're all the A team.
Are we plan B?
65 minutes.
Yeah, this is Eddie's plan B coming in now. Look, see? Who said he hadn't got a plan B?
Hang on, does that make me anti-Elanga? Because that's atrocious.
You said it.
Hey, have you got 2 knees? in one leg. Yeah, that's what Christina said.
Oh,
That's what Christina. That's right.
That's going to be clipped. That as Christina. That's going to be
I've
clipped.
been getting roasted about that in chat since I said it. Was I did 2 super chats just to roast me the other day?
Brilliant. I love it.
Oh, my
Anyway,
goodness.
I'll let you crack on with your shouts, and it's been a lovely one. Have a great
See you
show,
later.
boys and
See you,
girls.
Tina. Ta-ra.
Christina, see you later.
Thank you.
Here we go. The late night show starts now, ladies and gentlemen.
You are listening to NUFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army. Live daily on the website, on YouTube, and on every online radio directory. NUFC Talk, the voice of the Toon Army.
Hello, everyone. The late night show starting now with me, Boki, Win, Michael, and Roy. Ian should be joining as well. Ian's always late, by the way. What's up with that? I just realized that.
He has been for 18 months, but you get used to it.
It's
Terrible
okay. We'll
time
get
to
used
do
to it. We'll get used to it. Thank you very much, all of you, and thank you to everyone that has upgraded their membership. And I know there are some fans out there. One in particular, my friend Niall Powell, who's been flabbergasted by the thought that we would take away the lowest tier, which we did, by the way. The $4.99 tier has always been there. It's just that people could choose another one. So we took that $2.99 out. And if you want to be a member, you have to subscribe now to the $4.99 membership. And
By the way, we've been telling members about that for months.
We've been telling people all for the whole time. We knew that the starting of this year, we were going to do that. And it just happened. Listen, it takes a lot of work doing this. It takes a lot of people's effort, time, and energy to do this. A lot of resources to do this. And it's not easy, waking up at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, 5 a.m, getting people to stop going
11 in the morning.
Yeah, well, that doesn't count. Anybody gets up at 11 in the morning. Getting people to stop going on their holidays, getting people to get on during their holidays. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort and time. And but we don't just want to do whatever and $4.99, you get 2 emojis and there you go. No, we're trying to do stuff for you, specifically catered to you, that you really don't get in a lot of other channels. You really think about it and go do your research. What do you really get when you become a member of other channels? Go look. Go look for yourself. We actually put effort into these shows. We do 4 or 5 hour live match coverage all day. That takes a lot of effort. So, and it takes a lot of resources. So we have to just deal with it. But listen, if you're going to support the channel, you're going to do that. You're going to upgrade it. But you may also be a supporter of the channel, but you can't upgrade because it's not in your, you're not able to do that. Then we understand that as well. You're going to be our mates. We're going to be cool with each other. Changes nothing if you can't upgrade your membership. So one positive thing that we can announce is that Jack Cunningham, the guy that goes on TalkSport, really talks about Newcastle United on TalkSport on a weekly basis. He goes on with Jason Cundy and the other lad that nobody likes. I forgot his name. They get on their
Simon
show. No, not him. Jason Cundy and what's the other guy?
Jamie
O'Hara.
Yeah, there you go. He gets on there. He's a regular on TalkSport. He writes for TalkSport 24/7. He is joining us, and he's going to have his own show twice a week on this channel. So you're going to get his insights, as well as he's going to do another member-only show that is on the highest tier. He's going to do the Journal Insight, where he's going to try to give you nuggets here and there. ITK stuff. Remember we used to hate ITKs? Well, now we're bringing you ITK content. So it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot to bring people like that around because, they can just do what they do at TalkSport. Do you think we can compete against TalkSport as far as paying is concerned? No, we can't. But it takes a lot of effort to try to bring these guys on and, their opinions, personnel that you like. And so please consider upgrading your membership to that tier. We're also going to bring the all access tier. We're working on the technical side of things, where we review and rewatch the game and talk about it and do analysis on it the day after the match, showing you real in-time footage on the website. And, it's another tier that you can pay. And also, we're bringing the journal inside, of course, and alongside many other members. You will be able to participate on the NTTV Plus tier in the tournament. If you sign up for the All Access tier on the website, you don't have to, you waive your fee of £5 entry fee that we usually do. So you're basically signing up and not paying anything other than your membership, of course. And you get a chance of winning. How much is what's the pot right now, Mighty Win? It's gotta be 100, almost £200. Almost £200 that you can win for just predicting football. I mean, it takes a lot of effort, lads. It takes a lot of effort. So consider doing that. We have some people sign up already right now as we were talking, as I was talking right there. Christina became a member. Thank you very much, Christina. I appreciate you very much indeed. War Captain Bruno became a member as well. So
Becca became a member as well.
And Becca did as well. Thank you very much, Becca. And Niall, I understand Niall is the one that's upset out there. Niall, we've seen Niall for a long time here, years actually, 2 years since we started, and he's a little upset about it, and it's fine if it's not the time to do so. We understand, mate. Don't worry about it. It is what it is. I know you mentioned that you got to learn how to crawl before you can walk, or walk before you can run. Trust me, we're walking. And we're working pretty well, and it's time to start trotting at least.
Start jogging.
And, look around other channels. I don't care who, because I don't even watch YouTube content creators. I really don't. But we'll go around, because I know this game. I've been in this game too long. I know. Go around and see what perks they give you, what live shows they give you, if they do at all. No, they give you emojis here and there. They give you a little thing, but it's not really worth your money. So, but it is. If it's not the time, then don't do it. We're still mates, and we're still good to go. So, and again,
I'm just going to do a quick. I'm just going to do a quick run through tonight, Chris, of the memberships that have come in tonight. Queenie, thank you very much. Mercury Dame, thank you very much. Random Access, Ronnie Turnbull, Becca DJ, Bogey has joined, Christina's joined, and War Captain Bruno's joined tonight. Excellent.
Appreciate it. Listen,
Thank you very much.
Everybody's time and effort. But I don't want to confuse you. This is the $4.99, the number one tier now, the lowest tier. And for that, we've talked to Ian, we've talked to Mighty Win, we've talked to Michael as well. So again, it takes a lot of effort and time. And, so we just want you to appreciate that, because we're going to bring back the Once Upon a Time podcast with Mighty Win and Ian. We find another old guy. So we say, you know what, just talk about history, man. The two old guys on there, twatting about the old tune. So we're going to bring back the Once Upon a Time podcast. And this is going to be guaranteed. The fact of the matter is, a lot of times, you would get happy and you just say, we're going to do this for members. And then people sign up and we fall short of performing what we promised to do. And we're not going to do that anymore. We promise you that. So Once Upon a Time podcast coming back once a month, talking about the history of Newcastle United. The Party Neat show, which usually, you guys, we do it on the Friday night. It's going to still be live public, but the replay on demand, unedited, raw version will be on the website, of course, because we can't keep that unedited because we play music and we do all that stuff. YouTube doesn't like it. The Player Rating Show with Michael and Ian after every match. How many matches we got this month? 100. After every match. It takes effort to do that. So Player Ratings with Michael and Ian, and also Kev, who you saw yesterday. When he gets time, he'll do that, of course, when he gets on. And you'll obviously be able to participate in our prediction tournament, which again you get a chance of winning. At this point, at this time, close to £200 at the end of the season. I mean, if you become a member of the All Access membership, which is I think $9.99, 10 quid on the website, and when you win the prize, pretty much paid all your memberships right there, man. So and you get a little more. So come on, man. And also, you get prizes if we reward up to the 7th place, I think, which is criminal, man. I think that some of the prizes
European qualification.
I mean, if you get a prize in the 6th place or something, your price is probably going to be worth more than the £5 you definitely wouldn't be worth more than the £5 you used to sign up. So listen, it is what it is. You know how look at Newcastle United right after Christmas, the retro kits. Right after Christmas, they didn't care at all, man. And those retro kits are going to be like what, probably over £100. That old jacket that Mighty Wayne is wearing, that he hasn't washed since the 90s, is going to be worth a lot of money. So there you go.
It's already worth a lot of money.
There you go. It probably is. We have a new one that James Cuff there signed up for the membership. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. And again, I appreciate all of you for doing that. Of course, it means a lot. Anyways, enough of that. And we're gonna keep updating you on the. By the way, because Niall's bringing a good point. The all access on YouTube. Ignore that at the moment. Ignore that because it's not even. It doesn't even have everything that we're gonna have on there. Ignore it at the moment. We can't delete it. Ignore that at the moment. So that all access tier on YouTube. Ignore it at the moment. We're gonna work on that, and the one that's set in stone is on NTTV Plus, the first tier. And everything that's on there, everything we're going to provide to you. Ignore the 2nd tier for right now. We're going to let you know once we got everything going. And by the way, the all access tier, the highest tier you can get, you're going to probably have a month free to see if you like it and try it out for a month for free. So how way, man? So we try to do everything for you. But anyways, lads, how are you? Ian, Roy, Michael, Boki. Boki's knackered. He's got to stay on all night. But everything good? Trying to get my...
Thank you.
On painkillers.
Right. So, on painkillers? What the... on painkillers? What are you on painkillers for, man?
I'm injured. I can't even turn to the right. I have to go like this.
Oh, highway, man.
Don't play paddle.
You know what you were doing.
No, I wish it was.
You gotta switch it up. You gotta switch it up, man. You gotta switch it up.
John, just like getting a new woman.
Exactly.
It's when you think. It's when you give your body orders to do things that a 20-year-old does, but the machine doesn't work.
By the way, we did have the presser today, of course, and it was going well. Good questions by the journalists, and then we got to one question that baffled me beyond belief. The answer did. And that also baffled me how the early night show reacted to it. They were all, excusing this answer by Eddie Howe, which...
No, we said that was going to be discussed.
Well, of course there is. But your quick opinions on it were excusing it. But let's listen to King Eddie Howe and what was the question? The main question over here.
Thanks, George. Go to Charlie, Lee, and then Luke, please.
Morning, Eddie. Harvey Barnes coming off the bench the other day on that left-hand side, he was a real live wire. I know he came on for Anthony Gordon, but when them two play together, how come it's always Harvey Barnes who has to sort of be shifted onto that right-hand side?
I don't think Anthony enjoys the right, playing on the right, so I think Harvey's a lot more open to it and quite enjoys, I think, the freedom that position gives him with our way of playing, so that would be why that's the case. And of course, can't play Anthony out there, but if a player doesn't really want to play in that position, I think it's a difficult one to force a player to do it, because I don't think you'll get the same kind of performances. But Harvey's a player that's played across the midfield. He's very good in the lines and between spaces, so quite happy to play Harvey there. And I think he's done really well there this year. Of course, probably his number one position is the left, and I know sort of where he would ideally like to play. But I think he's a goal threat off both sides, and the stats would back that up. He's been really good off both flanks this year. He's just a very good all-round player, Harvey, and he did really well and turned the game for us on Sunday.
Thanks, Charlie. Lee?
All right. And one more thing on members before I forget. Some of you may have been refunded the previous payment because you didn't sign up for this new price or this new year. So you'll have to rejoin if you lost your membership. So you have to do that, like people have been doing anyway. Wow. It was about 3:30ish in the morning, I think, when I heard this, because I was up at 3:30 in the morning, at 2:40 in the morning to take a look at the presser, and I couldn't go back to sleep. I couldn't believe my ears. A manager saying that because one player, and it happens to be, as we know, one of his favorites, although some here won't admit to that, doesn't want to play there. He doesn't play there. We will relinquish the rights to play Harvey Barnes, one of our best, most effective players this season, where he has been effective this season for us. We put him on the right simply because Gordon doesn't like to play there. And I'm gonna criticize the early lad because they were talking about XG says Gordon is having a great season, so therefore the game is absolutely gone, and it just proves
that we're wangers.
I mean,
Chris, to me, with that decision, you look at the other things he's done this season. I'm sure Byrne doesn't like to play left back, especially at his age. I'm sure Maley isn't particularly good at being right, doesn't particularly want to play right back. I know Barnes doesn't want to play the right side of midfield. You know, it's not the player's choice. It's what's best for Newcastle United, not what's best for the players. So if a player's saying to you, I don't want to play that position, then that's not a good player for me. That's not a good sign, and it's not a player I want playing for my team. In regards to it, if you're a Newcastle United player, I want you to play wherever the coach tells you and put in the best performance you can wherever he tells you. You know, it should just be an honour to wear the shirt and an honour to play for the team and where you're playing. Yes, we all want everybody to play in the best positions, but if you want to move players, or if the manager wants to move players around, the players shouldn't be arguing with that. If they're saying that's not my favourite position, then tough, basically. You know, you play where you're told. And if he's saying he doesn't want to do it, that's terrible.
I mean, I'm going to get to your text, but I think it's criminal. I think that this is, you know, I was trying to be a happy clapper, but then we get fed this early in the morning, and there's no way not to talk about this because it's just insane. Lads, help me out here because I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah, I think
I can't understand.
It's one of those where I think what Howe has wanted to say is something that he's realised he probably can't say, and let's be honest, what he's come out and said isn't great either. But I think Eddie Howe obsesses over physical stats. It's very clear to see. My boss says to me at work, when you're in a mood, I can tell. It's exactly the same with Anthony Gordon. And he is a bit of a prima donna. And I think when he plays on that right-hand side, the only time I can remember him having a half-decent game was the 1-0 against Arsenal. Maybe I'm remembering. I think it's one of those, he's looking at the physical stats and saying, right, when Gordon goes on the right, his physical stats are nowhere near where they should be. And that's sort of what he's based on. I don't think he's said to Gordon, oh, would you like to play on the right, mate? And he's gone, no, I wouldn't. I think it's one of those where, realistically, his attitude has always been a bit of a problem. And I think Howe knows that. And there's certain players who are good enough to you work around their attitude. Anthony Gordon isn't that player now. He might have been when he was getting 10 goals and 10 assists in a season, but right now there's about 10 other players I can imagine who have much smaller egos who I would look after a lot more. Barnes being one of them.
120%, mate.
I think it's really two-dimensional as well. To kind of admit that Gordon's going to be on the left, he's always going to be on the left. So every opposition defence knows exactly where he's going to be the whole game. Because I think if you've got Barnes and Gordon, and to be honest, if you've got Alanga or Murphy on the other side, and Wisser as well, all three of them should be bombing backwards and forwards across the pitch and causing bloody havoc, so that nobody knows where they're going to have to pick them up. That might give us a few gaps to be able to play some forward balls, instead of being in such a rigid structure that once you've worked it out, it's very easy to stop, isn't it? We've seen numerous teams like West Ham and Brentford, Eddie Birmingham in the Cup last year, work that one out. So I just think it's naive of them to agree. It's like showing your hand before you've played it. Barnes is going to go down the left. He's not going to be anywhere else. That means whoever's on the right is going to stay on the right.
Yeah, but first of all, when it comes to surprises, I don't buy that nonsense. The surprise lasts 2 minutes, and everybody knows what's happening. So I don't. What I gotta say to Michael's
it's a constant rotation in the game.
What's that, Michael?
Why I?
Exactly, man. Why I, man? That's because you said it perfectly. There are egos you need to manage. I mean, if Maradona's in my team and he doesn't want to train, then well, you know what? I might do a little. I have some exceptions to it. Even let's not go to Maradona's level because I saw Maradona coming. We're going to get to that. But if you're the best player for Newcastle United, if you're Alan Shearer, let's talk about Alan Shearer. To be clear, there are some exceptions you can make for the guy that's scoring goals and getting it done on a weekly basis. Gordon is not that player. He is not the best player for Newcastle United, not the second best or third best. So he's not performing to say, you know what, I need to be on the left and I don't want to play on the right. It's just to me, it's just mind-boggling. I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. And why wouldn't you play what's best for the team? Because clearly Gordon on the left is not best for the team. There's no stat you can show me that that's the case this season. Roy, you want to say something about that? By the way, no, sorry. We got Animal Lecter become a member. Animal Lecter, Mighty Win, you lost that comment, man. You're on comment duty.
I did put it up and give him a clap, but there you go.
Thank you very much, Animal Lecter. Thank you very much, mate. Roy, I mean, this is just, you just can't conceive this man.
No, my issue is he didn't need to tell the media this. There was no point. You don't have to tell them. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet. I'll decide 3-4 hours before the game. Media doesn't need to know. We don't need to know. We know he prefers Gordon.
But this is not really about Leeds. This is not really about Leeds. This is about the whole season and what's to come. It's not. Yeah. So, go on. Sorry.
Could be a masterstroke if he plays Gordon on the right wing tomorrow night, though. That could just be some more confusion. He won't. I know he won't. Wisser can come in from either side as well, So I'm not meaning it's a secret for 2 games if they keep switching around and moving it around. All 3 of those players should be able to play in all 3 of the front positions. And if they're moving backwards and forwards and they're training with it, they should be causing havoc. And it's not havoc, is it?
Sorry, Roy, finish your point before I ask a question. To you guys.
Yeah, so my point, we don't need to know. None of us needs to know. What Eddie's done now is showing that he's a weaker manager than we already thought he is, and he's got all these favourite players now. So who controls the team, him or Gordon? I'll be like, mate, you play on the right today. Yeah, you play on the right today. If you don't like it, you can bugger off, sit on the bench, and we will respect Eddie for that. But now he's like, well, Gordon's my little queen of the team. I love his hair.
I know, it's insane. But that's the thing. I think that's the bigger problem. It's not about Leeds. I don't care about Leeds. Who plays on the right Leeds? I mean, I do, but I don't because now I know the bigger problem. It is confirmed, really, what we already suspected. Mighty Win, you can laugh out there and give the cynical laugh and smile and do all that.
I'm keeping my powder dry like at my turn.
It is factual. I mean, there was a comment in the chat that said, would you think Ferguson would he say something like that, man? I mean,
Fergie whacked bloody David Beckham on his face, man, with what was it, hairdryer or something?
Hairdryer treatment.
Aye. So that's David Beckham, not a little anti little Red Riding Hood.
He kicked a football boot, which inadvertently hit.
What happens, Mighty Wayne? And I will give the conch to you.
Right.
Hold on. Something that you didn't do earlier in the presser because you kept on, reading everything Eddie Howe said. Everybody watch Eddie Howe what he's had to say, man. You don't have to read it over again. But either way, we'll talk that in private. We'll edit this part out, mate. I'm gonna ask you a question, and then you can say what you need to say. What if Harvey Barnes comes on and says, "I don't want to play on the right. If you were gonna bring me on, I want to be on the left." What happens then?
You tell him you play where I tell you. You sit on the bench.
Okay, so now answer about Gordon. What do you tell Gordon?
Roy, is Thomas Tuchel an elite manager?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He is. Yeah.
Do you think Thomas Tuchel watches football, takes notice of stats, etc., etc., etc.?
Of course he does. England qualified to the World Cup without conceding a goal.
Right, there you go. Who's he picking on the left wing for England? Barnes or Gordon?
Well, Gordon.
Yeah.
What
So
are
you
you
say to
talking
Harvey
about,
Barnes,
man?
you say to Harvey Barnes, you get your place in the England team and you can make those kind of decisions. Whilst I've got an English international left winger, I'm going to play him for his club where he plays for his country. No, I'm not mad.
Man. Are you?
Wait.
A couple of things. Whoa, I've got the conch. All
right, go on, then go on.
You do what's best for the team. 3 of you have said that tonight. You do what's best for the team. Eddie Howe thinks that what's best for the team is playing Gordon on the left.
Well, he's daft.
Where he wants to play.
Daft.
And he thinks that's best for the team. He thinks Harvey Barnes does a better job on the right than Anthony Gordon does. Right now, he hasn't got a lot of options on the right. Murphy's off the boil. Alanga's not fit. We're struggling.
Why not put Gordon? He's he can be effective. The problem is he doesn't want to. That's the part that you guys are not. James Goff, I'm going to get to your comment.
I absolutely
that you don't
get that.
No, you don't though, because you are catering to a player that doesn't like to play there.
Correct.
Can I just ask
I'm catering to a player the same as Eddie Howe is.
Do you think that if Gordon for England was asked to play on the right, you would have the same sort of argument, or do you think you would just play because it's getting to play for England?
He'd probably play without a doubt.
Yeah. So it basically he's letting Newcastle down, but he won't let England down. So your argument there is completely nullified. Your argument there is completely nullified in regard to
I'll take that on board.
Playing for that side. Gordon should play where his manager tells him he wants him to play, not the manager bowing to Gordon because Gordon wants to play on the left. And whether he's an England international, whether he's a world-class elite player or anything, the manager cannot bow down to a player. The player bows down to the manager, and he plays where that manager asks him to play. And Howe was weak in that press conference by even mentioning the fact that Gordon doesn't want to play there. That shouldn't be an argument. Howe should just be saying, this is where you're playing.
That's your point of view. I disagree with it. How's going to do what's best for the team?
But it's weak.
You know what's crazy?
Where he wants him to play.
Okay.
You know what's crazy?
I absolutely accept that you can argue that that's weak.
No. Listen.
Accept.
You can. If he had said
absolutely.
If he had said, I think Gordon is better on the left, or I think that Gordon is better for the team on the left at the moment, then he'll be wrong anyway because Barnes.
To me, that's what he did say.
No. But that's not what he said though. That's not what he said. What he clearly said was Gordon doesn't like to play on the right. Therefore, he's going to be in Harvey Barnes. Come on, man. Ian, go on.
Therefore, it would be detrimental to the team if he did.
No,
what I was going to say was
to Howe. It's weak on Howe's behalf.
It sounds weak.
Want him to play.
What he should have said is, look, I'm a manager. I pick the team, and I'm picking Anthony Gordon to play left wing.
There you go.
End of story. That's all he should have said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
exactly. He would be wrong, but not this, man. Not this.
You would be you'd be one of the large proportion of supporters with their opinion on who they would want to put into the team that would have a view that's different to Eddie Howe's. But if he had just said, look, I'll pick the team and I pick Anthony Gordon to play down the left every time, whatever the reasons are, he's the manager, he picks the team, that's his job. So and if he had said, that's what I've picked, live with it, then they all would have had to do that.
So how about some people, and also people in the chat, some people in the chat are saying that he didn't say that, he didn't. So in Ian, I think you're saying something along those lines. It might win the same thing. Let's go and rewatch this again.
But nobody said.
No. So we can only take him for what he said. You can't assume that he meant to do this. He meant to say that. He said what he said.
He said Gordon doesn't enjoy playing on the left.
Okay, so you don't see an issue with that?
No.
That's my only issue. I'm not bothered whether he play Gordon or Barnes. My issue is him telling us this. We don't need to know this. He's showing us that he's.
I don't have a problem with that either. You opened the whole thing with, you were 3:30 in the morning, losing sleep because
I didn't sleep
because of the main question of the presser. Because you choose to make it the main question. It's again mountains and molehills, man.
Okay, let's take a listen to Eddie Howe, please.
Morning, Eddie. Harvey Barnes coming off the bench the other day on that left-hand side, he was a real live wire. I know he came on for Anthony Gordon, but when them two play together, how come it's always Harvey Barnes who has to sort of be shifted onto that right-hand side?
I don't think Anthony enjoys the right, playing on the right, so I think Harvey's a lot more open to it and quite enjoys, I think, the freedom that position gives him with our way of playing, so that would be why that's the case. And of course that doesn't mean I can't play Anthony out there, but if a player doesn't really want to play in that position, I think it's a difficult one to force a player to do it, because I don't think you'll get the same kind of
performance. So that's the key point, that he doesn't like to play on the right, therefore he's going to play on the left. Again, my question remains, because you can have this, if you're going to be consistent, you can have the same type of energy. If he has the same energy with all players, then by all means, he'll be just a pushover manager. But does he? Does he? If Walter Mata says, I don't want to play as a 10, I want to be a 9, or else don't bring me on. If Wissa say, I don't want to play with another center forward next to me, I'm more comfortable playing alone. What do you do, Mighty Win? Because we can get into this game where
that's the manager's decision. Then what he does, and he'll stand or fall by the decisions he makes, which will get him the results that he does or doesn't get.
Come on, man.
You do have to say that is a weak answer to that question. As everybody said, he didn't have to answer it at all, really.
But why not? He's an honest guy.
But all he had to say was Gordon's best on the left wing, and I want to test Barnes on the right wing. Not come out and say Gordon doesn't want to play on the Gordon doesn't want to play on the left wing, so I'm not going to go up against Gordon.
That's exactly what he didn't say.
But he did. That just shows weak management.
No. He said, I think Barnes is better on the right for the team.
But then he says Gordon doesn't want to play on the right.
Correct.
Oh, man.
So that's weak management. It's weak management.
Well, you can call it what you want.
It is criminal.
I think I'm saying what everybody's saying. He's a weak manager in that regard.
Right. Okay, you think that on that point he's a weak manager? That's fine. Great. Get on with it.
What would you say?
No.
I would say he's doing what he thinks is best for the team.
So that's okay to say to a player.
Absolutely okay. Yeah.
It's okay just to say you play where you want to play,
and everybody else has to play where I tell them to play.
Say that, Borgie, he didn't say that. He said it doesn't mean I can't play him down the right, but I think I get the best out of him when I play him down the left.
Why?
So
because he doesn't want to try there. Because he doesn't want to try playing there, right?
But why even?
It's all about player management and picking the best 11 to play. And if Gordon, if Gordon is,
let Ian finish, Boki. Let Ian finish.
How do you think that makes Barnes play?
Well, he says Gordon doesn't fancy down the right. Harvey Barnes is much more open to playing down the right. In fact, he quite enjoys it. I can remember him scoring 2 fab goals as a sub down the right against Benfica.
Well, he's a wonderful player.
He's very effective all the way across the front line. Gordon
so let me ask you,
really good against Arsenal, but he doesn't look good on the right anyway.
Ian, first of all, Harvey Barnes can't pay his way into this team if he could. That's the problem. If you're telling me that Barnes is on the right every game, he's a regular starter, then by all means, he's starting and he's performing. But as soon as he has a drop-off, Howe and Mighty Win, chuck him off the team. That's the problem. As opposed to Gordon, no matter how bad he can play, he will always start if he's fit to play. That's the problem. The favoritism that this manager shows, in detriment to the team. So basically what you're saying, Ian, is that Harvey Barnes is a team player. He's going to play wherever he wants to play. Burn, as much as I've criticized him, he doesn't like playing left back. He showed his frustration one time in a press conference before the Benfica game where he was getting annihilated over mistakes that he would make. But he would never tell the manager, no, I can't play there. I don't want to play there. I want to be center back only. You see the differences. I'm using the same happy clapping players that you guys defend all the time.
No.
Burn at left back and Gordon. You guys defend those players to the end. You see the difference, though.
Barnes is a team player. Burn is. Miley is. I mean, Bruno wants to play further forward, but he'll go back and play the 6 when he's needed. They did that
Tonali
switch against Palace to win the game.
Tonali is, because he's holding on to every single string to keep this team together, jeopardizing himself and having good performances. So he's a team player, right? But Gordon isn't, and we're rewarding a player that's not a team player. That's a petulant player, as I've called him many times on this channel. You can't be that, man.
Well, if you remember when he got suspended, didn't he, to miss the Carabao Cup? And then Harvey Barnes had a really good run right through to the end of the season, and Barnes couldn't get back in. Gordon couldn't get back in the end of last season. Right. So it does happen, but Gordon's got the shirt at the minute, and obviously Howe likes the pressing, leading the press. He's a very good leading the press.
Oh, he likes the pressing, all right.
Depression, no, the pressing. That's his job. If Howe keeps picking the wrong players and we keep getting bad results, that's when the pressure comes to bear. And if he doesn't change, he gets booted out. So we'll see.
I mean,
he's picked Gordon down the left in the last 2 games, and we've won them both. So
and Gordon instrumental, by the way, in the first.
In what?
In the first 2 goals against Burnley.
Oh, but we're talking about Burnley and that Dross performance.
The last 2 games. No, it wasn't a Dross performance at all.
It was
against Burnley. It wasn't
right. Listen, all I'm saying is, that if Eddie's management style is to have favourites, bring it on.
Oh, you admitted it now. You are admitting it. He does have his favorites. You admit to that now.
What I'm saying is, if he has, which is a charge that's been levelled at him for years now, for 18 months now, if he has got his favourites, and that is his management style, to have those favourites and get the loyalty from those players, and it ends up in results that get us to achieve what we've achieved under Eddie Howe, I'm all for it. Thank you very much.
What results, man? What results are you on about? Wake up.
Come on, not again, man.
What results are you on about? Anyway.
2 Champions League qualifications, first trophy in 50 years.
Find out what Michael and Roy think as well, because we've went for it for the last 20 minutes.
I'm just sitting back and enjoying the show.
Yeah, the best. You know what it was last season? The best thing to happen to us last season is Gordon getting sent off, because we wouldn't have won that cup final, or we wouldn't have won those 6 games with Barnes.
We won the final with Barnes playing amazing, by the way, without Gordon.
Yeah. And then
he jeopardized our final, by the way. If we had lost that final, Gordon could have never walked back to St. James's Park again. You understand that?
Absolutely. And then he was celebrating with them, getting his medal like he's done something. Numpty.
Listen, I'm not in the business of rewarding petulant players, man. That just
Chris.
You will love him by the end of the season, Chris. You will love him by the end of the season. Trust me. Once he scored the Champions League final.
His last goal from open play was in January.
That's
now.
It's sad, man. That is sad. That's beyond belief. It's sad. And to get the starts every week.
You're talking about you are talking about the Premier League there, because he finished off a fantastic move against Barcelona.
Well,
and it's easy to it's easy. It was a you had to be
It was a tap in. My nana was that man.
She would never have got in the box. She wouldn't. If you'd been standing there, you'd have been offside. You had to keep up with the play and time his run and finish that move off. I know. I'm not saying, Roy. I'm not saying he's our best ever player. He's not. I'm not saying he's man of the match every game, am I? I'm just saying to say, oh, he hasn't scored in open play since January. It's just to isolate one of the 4 competitions we're in, because he scored in all of the other competitions in open play. You know, and despite us only being good for the first 10 minutes against Burnley, as has been pointed out, he's instrumental in scoring both those goals. You know, he could be the first goal scorer against Palace had it not been for.
We need to bring Michael in. Michael's too.
Did he score in the FA Cup in open play?
Probably.
Can't remember.
I think it was.
Can't remember. We haven't started it yet, have we?
Oh no, that was a pen. That was a pen.
Penalty against Burnley.
I don't think he has.
I mean, it's insane. If he didn't have the because some people don't look back and they forget. They just count the goals. If he didn't take penalties, man, I mean, his stats would be so irrelevant beyond belief. And it's not hating Gordon, by the way. It's not hating Gordon. You know why? Because if he had an attitude with him, if he had personality, if he actually had the balls to play for the team, he would be an unbelievable right wing. The position that he grew up playing in. But you know what? You know what makes me mad more than anything? That just because he doesn't want to be, because he will be forced to assist, he will be forced to cross the ball, he will be forced to look for a man as opposed to somebody looking for him, and him being the one scoring and celebrating, because he wants that. And when you actually put him in the position to score as a center forward, he doesn't score tap-ins, man. Tap-ins, he doesn't score. That's how dross he is.
Just in terms of the Carabao Cup that we wouldn't have won without Gordon, who scored 2 of the goals against Arsenal in the semi-final again? Aye, Anthony Gordon, that's who it was. One of them was a belter.
Semi-finals?
Semi-final against Arsenal.
We won 2-0 twice.
Yeah, he did.
Goal in both legs.
He had an by the way, that's when he had an amazing performance playing on right. By the way, you remember that?
No. You're talking about the league game against Arsenal the previous season. But when he put the
no, it wasn't the previous season.
It was the same.
It was the same season. It was the same season.
Same
well, it was
season,
that season, of course.
Game.
Exactly, it was the same season.
Last season.
He played right wing. The only few times he ever has been, and when he puts his mind to it, he had an amazing performance, doing all that running you like to do, but also was critical to assisting and performing for the team. But he doesn't do that. He puts himself first, and I hate that. I don't like that.
You know what? Remember what Shearer said about the cross? He said that was old school cross, right foot from the right.
Exactly.
And it was his best cross and assist I've seen for him. Pure, clean header. On the left. Gosh, I don't even remember half the crosses he
Look,
did.
man, I think
it's the first defender.
When you have a manager that makes those
Lewis Hall
decisions like
puts
that.
crosses in from the left.
That's
as well. We don't want to sit here and just slag Gordon off. He is a good.
No, I do. I want to slag him right off, because if I see a player that doesn't want to perform and is not a team player, I want to slag him off. He deserves to be slagged off.
Chris, you don't watch the game. If you think Gordon doesn't try in those games, then you're not watching the game. He's leading the press. He's on the opposition defence. Like
how has that helped?
Murphy suddenly spots that he should be doing something and starts moving forward as well. And that's how we do those turnovers up front.
How is that going for this season playing Gordon? How is that
going
to? Oh, you're going to tell me 2 points away from Champions League? Is that what you're telling me right now? Before I'm going to beat you to the punch.
No,
really,
Chris, I'm not going to say that, mate. If you just stop for a minute, I'll ask you if you're questioning his bollocks and the kahunas that he's got, taking a penalty at 1-1 away at Leverkusen and taking it so well to put us ahead. That takes guts. Scoring that equaliser against Manchester City when he was playing centre forward last season to get the draw takes bollocks, man. Penalties are essential.
Isn't that his last goal in open play or something like that?
And he's a bloody good penalty taker.
But let's not call Gordon out completely. It's not Gordon at times. It's the fact that
Gordon is England's left winger. We should be after him, man. He's that good. Form is temporary. Class is permanent. And he's that good.
I think he will be for long, to be honest.
I don't think he'll start now.
No. It's Eddie that's come out with us doing all these questions because of that press conference. So it's not down to Gordon's performances or things. It's the fact that he's come out and said that, and he didn't have to see it. Again, when Eddie
I
gets
agree.
in the press conferences, he doesn't do the best of questions. And I think it's great from my point of view, because I think now we're beginning to get the real Eddie Howe coming out, because he can't do the, pre-recorded, pre-thought out press conferences he's been doing. He's beginning.
Pressure is getting to him. Because
Yeah,
pressure is getting to him.
getting
You realize how he's
Mike-
slipping a lot
Mike-
out now.
Yep, Michael, who would you play on the left if we're honest? Who do you think's been the best this season?
Oh, I'd 100% play Barnes, but I would have played Barnes last season as well. I don't want prima donnas in my team. I would have said Barnes and Murphy, and to be honest, Murphy's not exactly been great. Murphy's now injured, so now we haven't got much of a choice. But when it's a choice of Barnes or Gordon, I think Gordon worked better with Isak when he was there. But Harvey Barnes is a much more of a better fit for Newcastle United, I think. And it's one of those where I just want to summarise everything. We are just saying that, Eddie Howe has kind of got the answer to that question wrong. Let's be honest. I've watched Enzo Maresca for the last 6 months. I mean, he's now sacked, so it doesn't say much. But he got most answers wrong in press conferences, let's be honest. The fact we're seeing Eddie Howe slip up a little bit more, it's something I'd say we're not used to seeing. But you can see the pressure's getting to him. He's mentioning even more now that, I don't read what's on social media. I don't read what people are saying. The fact that you're reiterating that more and more and more tells me you're either being told, have you heard what people are saying about you? Or, he is reading it and it is affecting him. And why wouldn't it? It would affect me. I'll be honest. I think it's one of those where, go back to the original question, Barnes 100%. But I think in the summary of what we're talking about, Howe's got an answer to a press conference wrong. I don't think Gordon has said, I don't like playing there. I think it's, again, Howe just refers back to the stats. Physical stats, let's be honest, we've seen Gordon when he's not interested. It's clear when he's not. And I think that's the reason why he's come out and said that, and he's not said what he wanted to say. He's tried to think of a more, PR-friendly answer, and unfortunately, he's got it wrong. And that's fine. All managers do.
Super chat there, Win.
Yeah, Animal Lecter is saying, I told you Eddie was scared of Gordon. Remember? Not scared of him.
Well, he did say that he was Gordon was like one of his favourites, so he's right.
Well, we already knew that, but it's confirmed now more than ever. So that no favoritism is going out the window, I'm assuming, from everybody else. Even Mighty Win, slip of the tongue, he admitted to it, and then he said,
no,
if he
does
have favorites.
If.
Exactly. Yeah, okay. No, you didn't say if first.
Yes, I did. I've even had it written down before I said it.
The fact that you got to write down something you got to say is because
what I'm saying is if he has his favourites and does everything for the team in his mind, look at what that style of management has achieved. And so it will do for me. Thank you very much.
Rather than saying if, does he have his favourites?
Undoubtedly.
I wouldn't know.
I think every manager has their favourites. I don't think Eddie Howe's
every manager has. You're right. Every manager has their favorites. Proper managers, their favorites actually perform, and when they don't perform, they become their not so favorite. They go on the not so favorite list, and that's what proper managers do. You know what I mean? Not the same draws all the time.
I'm quite happy with our proper manager. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Well, let's see what the chat is saying right now. Queenie says. Wow, I missed the question. Hats off to him. That was Charlie. Charlie, what was it? Charlie. Man, I forgot. Charlie Bennett. He asked that question on the press conference. That was a good question.
He'll not be back in the press conference.
and he's laughing about that because he likes that. He likes that communism.
Was Lee Ryder back in?
No freedom of speech. No, Lee Ryder. Well, I don't know if he was there. I'm assuming. Yeah, he was there. I think. The moment a journalist is not allowed back in because of the question that they asked, trust me, I will be at Newcastle effective immediately, rioting. Freedom of speech should reign, and we should ask more of these tough questions. None of this, who's Voltemata dating or where do you see yourself in 10 years? Type questions that mean nothing. So we need to ask you stuff.
4 more years. 4 more years.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Gavin Fuller.
More Xanax for Royster.
From Metal Radio, from Radio Newcastle. He normally gets the first question, but he wasn't there.
Yes, I wasn't there, no. I did say last night, if you remember when we were talking about it, that I thought Eddie Howe was in his head, was just starting. And he is. He's there for the long haul. And that's if Man U come asking, they'll tell him he's in the middle of a project. And he ain't going to go till he's finished it.
They, to me, were far more important questions that the Chelsea and... Well, Chelsea's been filled now, obviously, apparently. But the Chelsea and Man U vacancies were far more important questions than anything about Anthony Gordon.
No. That's not more important. No, not at all, man.
So when you're saying Eddie Howe is more important than the team, you're saying that you'd rather Eddie will ask questions about Eddie Howe's future and where he's going to be, rather than asking where the team's going.
He's a very important part of the team. He's a very important part of the Newcastle United team.
But no, Wynn's basically saying the most important thing is where Eddie Howe is, not where the team is.
I'm more concerned about losing Eddie Howe than I am about losing any player.
No, I didn't say player. I says, are you more concerned about where Newcastle United or Eddie Howe is? Because from what you were saying you're more Eddie Howe.
I'm concerned about where Newcastle United are, and I am convinced that they'll be in a better place with Eddie Howe in that job.
You turn us into Eddie Howe United, basically, mate, the way you're speaking.
Let's go what the people are saying in the chat. Let's go what people are saying in the chat and see how they're reacting. Gavin Fuller says, so why were you playing Gordon striker instead of Harvey?
Yeah.
That never worked.
Yeah, that was because of the England setup, wasn't it? When he played there for the under-21s when they won the European Championships.
Man of the match.
Class.
Man of the tournament.
Playing against, adults probably didn't go as well.
Yeah. Steve Waldo, imagine Alex Ferguson giving that answer. Not good. Becca
imagine October. How long ago was that? 3 months ago? Man of the match for England, and you reckon he's not going to get another game for England?
Against Latvia. We just put up a team based on coal miners.
No, against Finland.
I forgot. There we go. Finland.
What was the score in that game?
Chow didn't even want to play for Finland, man. He played for Germany.
7-year-old kids.
Oh wait, man.
5-0. But he was man of the match.
You show me what Gordon would do against Italy and Brazil and Argentina.
What has he done against what has he done against proper big national teams in Europe? I want to know. Can you pull up the stat? I'm gonna give you time.
We haven't played any.
When we've played Barcelona, we've played.
I'm talking about for the national team.
I'm talking about for Newcastle United because that's who I care about. What has Gordon done against Barcelona?
He had one of his best games against Barcelona.
Are you mad? Against Barcelona? What is this, man?
What's he done against Man United? You look at his stats against the big teams that we played this season.
Actually, one of the criticisms of Anthony Gordon regularly is that he only turns up against the big teams. You can't have it both ways.
No, that's not your criticism. He doesn't turn into any game. He turns up. Listen to me, man. Barcelona. He had a sitter. Ilanga should be upset with Gordon because he. Two actually playing as a centre forward. Come on,
remember Miggy? Remember Miggy getting ripped apart after missing all those chances in the Champions League, especially against the one against Milan. Gordon's been worse, man. It's been worse.
He missed that one. He missed the one against Barcelona.
Two of them.
If he's a good big game player, Win. Tell me what games he's played well in that we played this season, big games.
Chelsea, and we gave up the lead twice. So there you go.
Chelsea, and of course that was Anthony Gordon's fault. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it was. He was on the pitch. You're the one that comes up with these stats about when Tonali comes on or when he starts, we lose, or when Chow starts. At the beginning of the season, you said when Chow starts, we give up leads. You're the one that come up with these stats that make no sense. So I'm using your same method right there, man. I'm just picking him on him because he's on the pitch. How about that? Anyway, let's get into the chat, man. Let's get into the chat because people are having to say. Becca says, "Has Gordon gone full prima donna?" Well, it's just been publicized now, but he's always been. Hey,
I wish I had his hair though.
Pika says if he doesn't want to play there, he can sit on the bench. I'll play a kid in front of him who does want to play there. Says Pika. Cuff says, I think you are taking it a bit too literally, Chris, because it's what you want to hear. I think overall, Barnes right wing and Gordon left wing is a net better result than the other way around. Actually, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. Factually, Barnes is better right now on the left.
Coming off the bench.
In Gordon, his ability to play, his ability to run and cross, he can play on the right wing. He can play on the right wing. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to.
By the way, Forrest have come back and won 2 on it.
Can I be honest? We don't need to have this argument.
By West Ham.
All they need to do is at times swap them over during the game. You know, you've got Gordon and Burns playing. Just swap them over. Give them 10 minutes each time on either side, and it'll.
But he doesn't do that.
Defenses, but Eddie won't do it for some reason.
There you go. So that's the problem.
It's an easy decision. Just Gordon right, start Gordon left, start Barnes right, but after 20 minutes, swap them over. Why do it?
Let's keep going.
If you've got Wisser playing, then you can swap the 3 of them around, and that's what I was saying before. That's confusing for defenders as to who they're marking and where they've got to go.
I have a way of playing with all of them together. Even Gordon, who I think there could be still a salvageable player there. So I'm not, being all doom and gloom with the but I can't stand when a player is petulant, and when it's proven that it's petulant, I lose my shit. I do. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't stand that.
Get away.
War Captain Bruno, here we go again. People giving their own interpretation of a statement that was about playing Barnes on the right when both Gordon and Barnes are playing at the same time. Niall says he didn't refuse to play right wing. His preference is left wing. Steve Waldo says Gordon needs to be on that bus. Eddie chucked them under. What do you mean? He doesn't chuck him under the bus, man. He plays him all the time.
I think it's one of those where I think he's interpreting it as Howe's basically saying, "Look, it's not my problem. It's Anthony Gordon."
On the press conference. Ooh, hey,
the same way they're saying you chuck Bruno under the bus, which is a nonsense.
Hey, listen to me. Hey, listen. Hear me out. If I'm Anthony Gordon, I get onto you, Mighty Wayne, because you talk too much. You give too much information, and I'm like, what the hell is he doing? We don't have to talk that much, man. He's like, we increase membership prices because I got to get my Blue Pill subscription. You're talking too much, man. You know what I mean? You're talking about Gordon listening at home, like, what the hell, man? Why did he say that? Because now there is heat towards it. There is. So it's a good way. That's a good way of putting it, Steve Waldo.
And strange, isn't it, that the 2 players that he's allegedly thrown under the bus are 2 of his favourites, according to the same people.
Who's what? Bruno.
Huh?
Bruno's not his favourite. Bruno picks himself first name on that list. Nothing to do with his favourite. Favourite means he's not playing well and getting picked. That's the favourite. Bruno's not favourite. Yeah. Tonali's not playing well, gets picked.
Tonali for the last 6 weeks.
No. He's getting subbed out. He's not getting picked all the time. That's not the same, though. That's not the same. He's not. Look at how many games he's starting, Tonali, and how many times also he's coming off the pitch.
Yeah, but no, I don't think Tonali is one of his favourites, though.
I don't think Tonali is his favorite either. Imagine Longstaff was playing before Tonali. Let's not go down that road. Let's not remember. Let's not remind the happy clappers of that. Okay, no, man, that was another. I remember that era. That was knackering, man. Ricky D,
how many arguments I went in for that?
Get these runners out. Keep Barnes. Gavin Fuller, to think we lost the Jordi Maradona to keep the Scouts prima donna. Oh, there you go.
Very good. Very good.
I like that.
Alliterative.
Jordy Dan, watch him start him on the right tomorrow.
Right, man.
Cuff, come on, guys. It's so obvious. It's been taken out of context. You really think Eddie will admit to bowing to players, which is publicly? Come on, lads. Engage the noggin for what? Listen, That's what he said, man. There's no interpretation. That's exactly what he said. Eddie Molector, I've not become a member. I've renewed my membership. Oh, that's one way of putting it. There you go. Thank you, mate. Oh, and there's Mighty Win putting up the numpty Longstaff stats.
Man.
Stats.
He can't even get a game for Leeds now.
But he's injured.
Man. Hey, man, come on, man. Let's not do the long stuff, man. That was a criminal time.
Remember what happened to those
Terrific and ferocious makes the opposition look pathetic and atrocious. If you sing this song with us, you really do support us. Super Shawnee Longstaff is terrific and ferocious. Diddle-I.
Unbelievable, man.
Have you got on the logger?
To be fair, the only thing that Win and Dick
Dozens.
to be fair, the only
we
thing
got a lot of stuff in the background.
Win and Dick Van Dyke have in common is two things: that song and the fact they're both 100 plus. So
unbelievable.
Dick Van Dyke probably is 100 plus.
Oh, he is. He had his 100th birthday last week.
Did he?
Yeah.
I wish I'd sent him a card.
And long may it last, because he's a great bloke.
Unbelievable. Anyway,
bit like myself, then, huh?
Lee Maggs, who gives crap about England? Certainly not me, says Lee Maggs. There you go. Mighty Wayne wants to bring up England now. Which, by the way, you got to support your national team, mate. But I don't even think he's going to be. You better watch. He might not start for England either, man, because he's not playing great. But Tuchel, you never know with Tuchel. So.
Well, Radford's playing well, so.
Oh, he is
Rashford,
killing him. Rashford, he's killing him, man. So you know he ain't gonna play. Gavin Fowler, he was basically saying, I don't want to play him there because he will not try. It's exactly the point, man. That's the message, man.
100%.
That is. I mean,
that's your interpretation of it.
But why did he come out and say that in the press conference?
Let's get to the
why
chat,
shouldn't
man.
he?
Let's get to the chat.
Because it's crap.
Because look at us now, man. Confirm we knew.
Yeah,
Still bad,
if
Dad.
didn't say that, we wouldn't be doing anything now. So
we had nothing to talk about. Sean says, what has Gordon done to earn the right to play on the left side? He's done nothing for a full year now, whereas Barnes finishes his dinner when he plays the same position.
Coming off the bench after Gordon's tired them out.
No.
Are you serious? Wayne, are you serious now, man?
That's not
PlayStation. Is that really
man,
what you're thinking? Come on,
Pro
man.
Evolution. How are you, man?
I don't think Still Bad Dad watches the same games I do.
He was a happy clapper.
There's very few watch the same games I do, Ian.
Listen to me. He was a happy clapper and a season ticket holder. So he went against me all the time, Still Bad Dad. But now he's seen the light. What? You can't. Gordon is not playing good. Ian,
correct.
You can't say he's playing. He's playing good, man. Come on.
He created the first 2 goals against Burnley. He did. He won us the game.
He's instrumental in the press from the off.
Absolutely. The problem here is, once again, Gordon has one good game. He starts the next, and the next, and the next, and the next, and the next. Barnes has great games. He gets subbed
Barnes
off.
doesn't have great.
He comes on the list. Are you serious?
Barnes?
Again?
Yes, I'm serious. When was the last time Barnes was man of the match?
When was the last time Gordon was man of the match?
Well, that's fair comment, but Barnes doesn't have great games.
Wait. Barnes was nominated for Player of the Month of November of the Premier League, not Newcastle United. It was the Premier League Player of the Month nomination. So he was one of the 6, I think. Was it 6 players nominated?
He was, yeah, no, you're 100% correct.
Did you vote for him?
Yeah, I did.
Good for you.
Well, who do you?
He
didn't.
He didn't have to do the Bruno begging for votes on social media. By the way, he just, so I'm just letting you know that.
Do you know how you know you want an Arsenal to win? Because he's not sitting there looking up his stats on the computer quickly.
No. Because he's just coming up with answers. Yeah.
But we know what the listen.
Let's back up.
It's just rewind.
We're ganging up.
We know what the stats are. What the stats don't show you, as you regularly say, is what you see with your eyes.
And Gordon's been shit with Wise. Sorry for swearing.
Well,
Gordon's been rubbish for Wise.
As far as XG is concerned, and
XG
is concerned,
you're a little too long in the tooth to be talking about XG, man.
He's been poor by his standards. He's been poor, but he's still puts his shift in works his arse off and does a job
Don't talk about
for
stats.
the team.
Don't talk about stats. What you've seen on the pitch, has he been good?
Come on.
None of the wingers have been good.
Wayne, stop being woke, man. Stop talking about XG, XA, and all that crap, man. Talk about what you're seeing, man. Stop being woke,
use
man.
your eyes. Has Gordon been good?
Okay, yeah.
I've just said he hasn't been up to his normal standard.
So he has to keep playing all the time.
For a year. For a year.
For a long time. Yeah.
Let's keep going to the comments, please. Let's keep going to the comments.
And yet he's been good enough to get in the England team and get man of the match awards for England.
Oh my God, England again.
At left wing.
Against Latvia.
He barely played. He played like 2 or 3 games for England since January last year.
If you're part of a country that's split up,
and he dropped.
Man, if you play against a country that was just invented in the last 50 years, man, that's not a good team, mate. I don't care.
Finland's been going longer than America, by the way.
No, I'm not talking about England, man. I'm talking about against Latvia, against
Finland.
Finland. Chow didn't even want to play for Finland, man. So how man? Steve Waldo, you don't put yourself before the team in any situation. Becca says the positive out of this is that Barnes is 100% a team player. There you go. Oh,
yep. Right, there you go.
Oh man. She also says, I can't imagine going to my boss and saying, I don't like this client. Can I deal with someone else, please? I know exactly what she would say. And we're talking about one of the highest paid players for Newcastle United. It is criminal, man. He got his new contract and he said, I'm off for the rest of my life. Man, it's insane, man. Queenie, I don't want to go into work tomorrow. There you go. Everybody's win. You can't win this, man. You and Ian are knackered at the moment.
We are knackered. I'm not bothered. You know, it reminds me of when
because the public
when Alan Shearer came back to the Toon, my local golf club where I'm a social member because I don't play the stupid game. I just drink in the 19th hole. Had a waiting list as long as your arm. And Alan Shearer, when he came back to the Toon, automatically he applied for a membership and he got a one. And the outcry in the bar was, why should he just come in and get a membership at the club, da-di-da-di-da, just because he's a famous footballer, etc., etc. And I said the same to them as I say to you. All you've got to do is go and become the most expensive player in football history, and any one of your pals can be a member as well. Dead simple.
What's that got to do with the price of fish in regards to...
Because Anthony Gordon is the current England international left winger, and he wants to play in that position for his club.
So we go off what England do, not what Newcastle United do.
Botman wants to be a international. So does he come in the team now? He plays for Newcastle United. He wants to be there. He wants to go to the World.
The wonderful Rolls Royce that is Botman can't even get a game.
But he wants to play so he can be, so he can get called up. So do we put him on there so he can get called up for the World Cup?
He should be playing well enough to get called up.
How is he going to do that?
Better than the man that he's fighting for the position.
How is he going?
Who is playing well enough to get called up for a bigger country than he's playing for?
It's not much bigger country than Holland, man. You will watch yourself when it comes.
But 65 million versus 8 million. Shut up, man.
To the Netherlands. You better watch yourself when it comes to the Netherlands. You won one World Cup, man. Just humble yourself.
Just Michael, what's your opinion on Botman? Do you think he's good enough to play?
Yeah, I generally think when he's fit and firing, which is about 4% of the time, he is one of the best centre backs in the league we've seen. But however, since he's come back, he hasn't really been fit and firing. It's one of those when, he was that good for us before that injury against Brentford. You had Van Dijk and I think De Ligt was still at Bayern doing pretty well. As I can't remember who the third Holland centre back might have been. Nathan Ake.
Well, you had Ake as well.
Yeah. So it's one of those three in there. Let's be honest. You've got a Manchester City left centre back who plays with the ball like Holland want to. Let's be honest. Sven Botman didn't have a chance. Now, if he was fit and firing like he was then for us, I think he'd have a better.
I don't think he should play.
But it's one of those where he isn't fit and firing.
I don't think Botman should play. I don't think Botman should play. But the point is, you can use the argument to police all players to go to the national team. So it's irrelevant.
What do you think?
Who's our best defender?
Botman should be playing Roy.
Chow. And Chow just got called to Germany, by the way.
But I'm just saying,
Chow's been picked all the time. He gets picked, but he's on the bench. He doesn't even start for Germany. Yeah. He's our
he hadn't been picked in a long time. And I said I'm Nagelsmann out if he didn't get called up, and he got called up. So Nagelsmann knows he didn't want the wrath.
That's the levels. That's just the levels. We think our three midfielders are the best in the league, but nothing really. If you look at worldwide,
Brazil is shite.
And stuff.
Brazil is shite, by the way. Brazil is shit right now.
If you're picking Joe Linton for Brazil, that shows you how shit they are.
You know, so they are. Joe Linton doesn't even get a call up, man. He gets a call up once every year. He doesn't even. He's not a regular. You know what I mean? So we can't really go on that. But I think we got to do what's best for Newcastle United.
Can I just ask Ian as well? What's your best back two, mate? Who do you think your best back two is?
Botman and Chow at the minute. I think Shah's fabulous bringing the ball forward, but he just give the ball away in a stupid place very, very regularly because those passes don't always come off. I think Botman's excellent, and I'd love to see him alongside Chow regularly.
Yeah,
it's the taking over of the old guard, isn't it? Livramento's come in for Trippier, Hall's come in on the left side. We now need these two younger centre backs to come and put Shah and Byrne as backup, which is what they should be. Kraft and Lascelles are done, aren't they? But we need to have the two 21-year-old centre halves coming in to learn off them as well. That's progressing the squad. And I do think that Eddie has had his favourite since he's got in there, and that's hampered the growth of the squad because he's hung on to Trippier and he's hung on to Wilson and he's hung on to Byrne. I'm not saying they haven't produced for him, they have, but if he'd been forced to go and find a replacement and an upgrade, we don't know where we would be now.
Well,
spot on, mate.
But
I agree with all that.
We know exactly where we are when he's done what he's done.
Yeah, it's still progression. We're still progressing. I just think
absolutely still progressing.
I don't want to throw all of the experience and leadership out just because they've had their 30th birthday at all. But I mean, Chow and Botman is the conclusion of that natural progression of what we've been doing over the last 4 years.
If Botman can recapture the form of 2 years,
but Botman has to stay healthy because he's not, and that's the problem. And at some point you're gonna have to determine, he's great, but he's not healthy, so we got to get somebody else.
Yeah, if he's crocked, he's crocked, and you've got Shah or you've got Byrne to stand in. Whilst we get a younger lad to come through that gets up to Chow's
that's right.
standards.
Chow was. In my opinion, we need to refresh a lot of the back four this summer. Hopefully in January, a few of them, and then in summer, because the age of them now, as you say, Ian and Michael, they're getting older players. They're becoming not players that you can rely on to play in week in, week out. So we'll have to start replacing them and looking to the future rather than, as you say, looking back. Trips has been absolutely brilliant for us. So has Byrne. Shaw's an absolutely amazing player, but they're all coming to the end of their careers. And we'll have to start looking for replacements for them.
Now, let me ask you guys a question, because it came about, of course, in the Newcastle atmosphere. Ecosystem that Callum Wilson is a free agent now because of West Ham releasing, and there seems to be going around on social media that hear me out type of thing. I mean, we could use a backup. I criticized Callum Wilson many times. Matter of fact, I actually criticized more Eddie Howe for waiting and choosing him when he was never fit. Mighty Win here said he's going to score 10 goals. He didn't even score 2, I don't think. So he's failed that before. But he's free, doesn't cost anything. He seems to be healthy again. Why not to be a backup and you tell him, listen, you're going to play probably one game the whole year, but you want to be a backup?
He would need to have been visited by Jesus Christ himself to perform a miracle to get his hamstrings to stand up to Premier League.
Oh, he hasn't gotten hurt at West Ham, has he? Paddy.
Because he probably hasn't even been asked to bloody run. They've only played him 9 times out of whatever many games they've done.
That's really what we need, though, Ian. We don't need him to play at all, really. Other than
can't press.
I would leave it. I'd play Sean Neve. I'd play our young lads. Get their teeth cut. But if they're crap, get rid and buy some new ones. Let's test the water with these 100%. Young lads.
I agree with you 100%. But your manager that you're backing over here, that you're Messiah, he doesn't do that. He will never do that. So
I wouldn't do that either. To be fair, all the young'uns aren't good enough. What I would have done is maybe played Asula a little bit more last year, but we might not have got Champions League then. In that case, but if it's a case of Callum Wilson comes back, and I know that's theoretical, it's just what people are talking about online and stuff. While Asula's right there, I know there's the rumour mill going around that Osula's fell out with Howe because of the Alexander Isak trauma and stuff like that. We don't know anything like that for certain, but if that is the case, then ship Osula off and bring in maybe an experienced striker who can actually still run a little bit. But I think if the answer is Callum Wilson, the question is, are we getting relegated? Because it's a problem.
The answer isn't Callum Wilson. It isn't.
So,
have we any idea why Callum Wilson's wanting to leave West Ham? Because he hasn't done too bad there.
No, but he's going to get relegated.
They've bought 2 new strikers. They've bought 2 new strikers, and they've bought 50 million quid worth of forwards in January.
Oh, interesting.
So he's just not going to get. He's not going to get a game.
Is that his reason?
Well, he's getting relegated, man. I mean, he probably wants to stay in the Premier League or something, you know. And,
he's played 18 games, but he's only played like 800 minutes, so his minutes have been like severely.
I thought he scored.
He's got 4 goals though.
4 goals in. I heard 4 goals in 9 games. Maybe it's 9 complete games. Then is it? How many minutes has he played, Michael?
800.
810. That's 9 games, isn't it?
Can I be honest with you?
990s.
Callum Wilson.
Do the maths, lads. Do the maths.
Huh? Do the math.
Yeah. If Callum Wilson stays in the Premier League this season, I'd be tempted to take him to the World Cup, you know. In regards to bringing somebody off the bench. Bringing someone off the bench who can score a goal.
From him.
No, bringing somebody off the bench who can. Who else have England got that they could bring off the bench and score a goal?
Come on, man. Now
that Lewin has made a stronger argument than Wilson.
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
Well, just hope he's quiet tomorrow.
But
did you see the stat I put up earlier on where Leeds are the team that Barnes has scored the most goals against, and Newcastle are the team that Calvert-Lewin scored the most against?
Correct.
No, it's going to be 2-1 tomorrow.
I'm laughing at this. Jordy says, I've watched Callum this season. He's slower than a snail on paper.
That's being generous, to be fair.
Yeah, he played against. When he played against us, he did well though. He surprised me a little bit.
Yeah,
he played against us.
I think what everybody needs to look at Callum Wilson is when he came on in the cup final, when we were winning,
when we lost,
you know, and just how
we won,
lack of energy had and lack of pace and lack of everything.
Yeah.
You know, he was a great player forward. Didn't get us wrong. He probably kept winning the Premier League one season, to be perfectly honest.
Oh yeah,
him and Maxi kept us up.
He's completely gone now. He's not a world class striker. And the England thing was a little bit of a joke. You know, he's not a world class striker.
Not anymore, he's not, but he certainly was. He was the nearest Shearer I'd seen when he was in his prime.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Jesus Christ.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not necessary,
he was in the squad
man.
In Qatar.
It's not necessary to do all of that, man. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good player. Kept us in the Premier League. The greatest thing since Alan Shearer, man.
Best Newcastle before we got Isak. Alan in his prime was the best striker we'd had since
Dude, I can't
without a doubt.
Without a doubt, was the best striker from what ahead of Demba Ba? Don't know.
Yeah.
What does he say?
Oh, he was not better. He was not better than Carroll. I know that much.
Yeah, much better than Carroll.
He was
Which
never.
version?
He was not.
The first version of the one we got back.
No, the first version.
That's the best 35 million we ever got, I know.
Callum Wilson didn't even have the talent that Chopper had at the time. I'm just talking about talent. You know,
well, I've got my bias.
I'm talking about talent. I'm not talking about what they did
as well. That was down to Bobby Robson's.
What was Bobby Robson doing? Stopping young talent? What's Eddie Howe doing?
No. He was picking Amiot because he was 6'3".
Amiot will be better than Callum Wilson.
I think it's scored more goals for us.
But he did more for Newcastle than Callum. Man. That's the only team he turned up against, though.
Hang on, lads. We can take things to a certain point, but let's not call it
that many.
Slayer. Amiobi was an immense player for us. I loved Amiobi.
No, but he only played against the Mac. He only turned up against the Macums, though. That's the only problem. But
I love Amiobi more than Panani.
No one. Get that on the quote.
Anyone does that to the Macums, I love him. I love it. Even though he's useless.
Chopra did better than that. He missed against us.
That's true, actually. Yeah, no, but Chopper went to the Macum. But as far as talent is concerned, he should have gotten an opportunity more than many other players. So, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, man, Wilson was all right, but the greatest thing since Alan Shearer, like, it's not. You don't have to do that, man. You know, it's not necessary.
Demba that season, man.
Hang on. Can I pick Win up on that? Is Ferdinand worse than Amiobi Beardsley?
Matter of fact,
he was.
Hey, hold on. Time out.
He was gone before Shearer went.
They were there at the same time.
Hold on. Time out. I didn't do this on purpose, because we started talking about the greatest player, striker, center forward since Alan Shearer is Alexander Isak. There's no question about that.
I said before.
Love it.
No. He is, 100%. And there's a big gap. There's a big gap when it comes to, for Newcastle United. So that is for real. In the chat is already hinting it. We won't say his name, but it is what it is. He was, and he did score in the final, first trophy ever since Mighty Win watched this in the 50s. You know what I mean? So you can't. Don't exhale like you don't agree, Ian. I
do. I agree totally. I think Isak was the first striker since Alan Shearer that had the whole team designed to put the ball on the plate for him to put in the net.
That's right.
And when he did his rats trick, that completely destroyed all of our game plan.
Well, we're starting again.
Exactly.
That's why.
And can I just say, with Isak, let's hope that lad gets playing as quickly as possible. I know the chat ball is out. I know Wynn's going to ball is out.
Proves that we're wangers. Hope he never kicks a ball again.
He let us.
I prefer watching him struggle and not scoring week after week rather than being injured. I have to say.
I just want him to leave. I just want him.
The same as Ian. Yeah.
I want him to leave the Premier League. I want him to go somewhere else. That's all. That's what I really want.
But what we don't want is him to be injured. As I say, any player we don't want to be injured. So, quick recovery, Isak. You won World Cup. You won World Cup win. He's
and Byrne won with a cup.
Go on, Bogey.
No. He won us.
What's happened?
He won us a cup. He's not necessarily a player that anybody wants to talk about or be nice about, but he's a great player, and I want every great player to be playing.
Right, there you go.
It's just who we are.
I do think we dropped a massive bollock by saying we're going to hang on to him when everybody probably knew we weren't, and deciding we weren't going to go and buy Ekitike and let Liverpool get Ekitike as well.
Really big bollocks from PIF.
Yeah.
And sold him. Would have been.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Destroyed our window.
And what also destroyed our window is the manager going upstairs and telling him, I want to be the man in charge, and then we weren't prepared to do that. So we let our DOF go.
Chris, we didn't mention the fact that he stomped his little legs upstairs to go up there.
Exactly. It's me or the highway.
Yeah.
I won the cup. I won the cup, Carabao Cup. So it's me or the highway. Pull Mitchell out in the middle of a transfer window. All of that didn't help. You see,
hang on, that was in May, way before the transfer window.
No, he was sacked during.
By the way, Darren Eales had been.
He was let go during the transfer window, man.
He went on June the 1st.
When Eddie had the ball under his arm when he stormed up them stairs and says, "If you don't
I'm taking my ball.
It's my ball, and my ball says I'm the boss."
Man, come on, man. That's a criminal.
Good for him.
That's criminal. Good for him. Then we're knackered on the transfer window, buying players late, man.
Because
sad to see.
Because Eddie was being told by what hierarchy we had then, which was non-existent, that we were keeping him.
Whatever. Listen, we gotta go. But if you haven't, remember your membership. Some of you, your membership expired, or you got your money back because we got new prices on the lower tier. So please renew your membership, become a member again, support the channel if you can. If not, then it is what it is. We appreciate you anyway. Smash the like button; it's free. I want to thank all the people that became members tonight. Queen of Hearts.
I've got words of wisdom before we go.
Hold on, man. Hold on. We're gonna give you that, but let me thank the members. Queen of Heart, of course, become a member. Thank you, Random Access, for the super chat. Thank you to Mercury Dime for becoming a member. Random Access again. Ronald Turnbull, thank you. Becca, Boki as well. Christina, they're doing the job. War Captain Bruno, who never agrees with me, but he became a member nonetheless. James Cuff defending Anthony Gordon being a selfish player. Animal Lecter also renewing his membership. He wanted to make sure that we clarified. And of course, a last super chat there from my little Mo.
Gordon thinks he's better than anyone else. He should play where he's told. No one is bigger than the team. We need team players.
Spot
on, man. Spot on. So thank you very much, all of you. And yes, continue your membership.
The words of wisdom.
Yeah, go on. Words of wisdom.
So because it's 2026 and we're on 100%, I'm hoping Eddie proves that we're all numpties and he wins tomorrow with Gordon on the right, on the left, and Barnes on the right. So come on, let's stay positive. Back the team. Doesn't matter, we're happy clappers, bedwetters, fanny, punani lovers, all that stuff. Let's win tomorrow.
Hopefully that's all of us.
We'll talk about it after the game.
And so say all of us.
And I hope Eddie proves that we're all numpties and we know now.
Correct.
I'm there.
And Eddie Howe all day, every day.
Yeah, I'm there as well. We'll talk after you.
There you go.
Yeah, but the problem is we are not numpties.
Renew your membership, folks. Renew your membership and keep an eye out because we are coming up with the All Access on the website. We'd rather you sign up on the website because it's better for us. You know, and by the way, we didn't mention YouTube takes their cut, man. They tax us more than Uncle Sam. You guys don't have Uncle Sam, but you got what, like Auntie Elizabeth or something.
Uncle Abdullah.
Whoever's taking your money, they tax us like the mafia men, 30%. So we got to do what we got to do. But hopefully you join that because that's going to be amazing as well. Thank you very much. We'll see you on. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Boki. And thank you, Mighty Win, for tuning up for this show. Tomorrow, match day. And don't forget Thursday, Jack Cunningham from TalkSport. He has his own show now here on NUFC Talk live, hopefully twice, and also doing a members only Journal Insight video for you as well. So we got a lot of stuff. Stay tuned. See you later.